There are actually people in my comments telling me that Jasmine Crockett is fighting for my civil rights. Bitch, I am an American. How is her fighting for illegals fighting for my civil rights? How is her voting for transgenders to play in women's sports fighting for my civil rights? Are y'all delusional? How is a woman that hates the country that our ancestors built through slavery fighting for my civil rights? She's fighting hard to destroy this country that my ancestors built for free. And you mean to tell me she's fighting for my civil rights? I don't think so, baby. And Booker T. Washington was so fucking right. And I hated to hear him say that when he said what he said about black people voting and black people being involved in politics. I have never saw fight so hard, a group fight so hard for the economic decline of the country that was built by my ancestors for free. And now I can get a piece of the pie. No, What my ancestors went through will not be in vain. Since y'all love identity politics so much. At this point, I'm convinced that if you still voting Democrat and you black, you are under a generational curse. It ain't working, boo-boo. It's time to switch it up. It is absolutely insanity for you to keep voting for the same exact thing and expecting different results. It ain't working, babe. Give it up. I literally used to go in there and just vote Democrat because I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Y'all don't do that. Don't be mean. Look that shit up. See what is going on. Find out policies. Get away from identity politics. It is destroying our community. Stop voting with your emotions. Vote logically. Democrats operate off of your emotions. They are playing with your emotions. Prime example, Andrew Gillum in Florida. I was riding hard for this nigga and he embarrassed me. He out here doing meth and sleeping with trannies. Get out your feelings so you can get in your bag, okay? It ain't working for our people. Move on. Try something different, nigga.
We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a third grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of our 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
It's the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land. Through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest. Which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money. Teach them how to farm. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Shon D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives.
Good evening on the West Coast. Good evening in the mountain. Good evening in the central. Good evening on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela, your father, your hostess with the mostest on the reparationist perspective, bringing you those Negro Descendant American freedom hot topic and making the case for reparations, making the case for weaponizing our vote, socializing our suffering. How y'all doing, family? Happy Sunday, one and all. I see you, funny face, in the building first. She's in class. She's ready with her notepad. I see you, George Wichard III, all the way from Huntsville, Alabama. What's up, Beth, baby? Okay, who's this Friedman? Mario? I see you, family. It's been a minute. I see you, St. Thomas 2009. And for those of you who are tuning in from Facebook and X, welcome to the live. Now, if you want to be a part of my illustrious co-host, you must go where? ScrewTube. You're going to come over to ScrewTube. Yes, family. Shout out to the producers of last week's broadcast. That would be Yaira, Mario, and Amahl. Thank you. You get a round of applause for producing an epic broadcast. Was that the one that we went till 3 a.m? I don't recall. I think that one was about, maybe 6 hours long, but it's action-packed. It was Chicago Red. It's not affiliated with Chicago Flips Red. It's epic. Now, it is far more than what meets the eye. So you might have to chew that elephant one bite at a time, but it's worth looking at, family. We got a lot of folks grifting off of reparations to our peril. Folks just got their hands out and ain't doing none of the work, okay? So you want to go in that particular video and find out what's really going on with the grassroots, the contemporary grassroots reparations movement. Don't be in the dark, so you won't sit up here and say, I gave them all this money and no one told me. Because TRP keeps it RE real, okay? I'm going to tell you who you can entrust and who you should run away from. Now, today we've got an epic broadcast for you. I know, I'm always late to the party, but there's everybody else's perspective, and then there is the reparationist perspective. So I'm going to always try to keep it fresh and fly and fun. I'm going to try not to scream at y'all the whole broadcast, okay? That can be a little challenging because I got a lot that makes me want to holler. But in the end, I mellow us out with my declare and decree, and we see how that worked the last time to deliver Trump for deportation, close borders, okay? This ain't a party thing for me, y'all. No. Both parties suck for the Negro. But, y'all can't get us caught up in a perpetual cycle of lesser to evil voting and then want to sit on the couch when we are on the chopping block for extinction. That's not what we're going to do. We have to back it up, okay? We got to do the same thing we did to get here to back out of this because we are outgunned and outmoneyed, okay? So there's no such thing as voting the couch. You got to grow the backbone of the ancestors, the ones who fought back, because these Demonrats literally played in our face and tried to erase the power of the black swing vote. And we just cannot take that casually, because as you will see by today's broadcast, they are still up to this nonsense, unwilling to honestly admit why they lost, and leaning in policies to protect transgenders to protect illegals, everyone but the Negro. And they love putting out Crash Out Crockett. They love to put her out there to represent us. And she is diabolical, and she is a disgrace to the Negro woman. And I cannot stand any time she opens her mouth. Now listen, I let a few expletives fly out of my mouth too. But guess what? I'm not in office. Now, if I was in office, I'd be of a different decorum. First of all, I'd tell the truth and stop lying for the Demonrats. Let's start there. I'd be honest. I wouldn't be about aborting more Negro babies while illegals birth citizens. I wouldn't be about tampons in the boys' bathrooms. I wouldn't be about having a daughter in sports. I wouldn't be about men, transgender men, whatever you want to call them, competing with my daughter in sports. I wouldn't be about war and using the Negro reparation to fund these proxy wars all over the world and genociding other groups of people. I wouldn't be on that. Okay, but I got my own channel. I can say it my way, but you can't when you are hired by the people. It's like when you go to work. Now, do you think I talk this loud and this proud and this braggadocious about the Negro and our accomplishments on the white man's job? Do you think I behave this way? No, I don't. You can liken it to Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. Okay? I can tell the TR room to my people. I can be me over here. Well, that's what Jasmine Crockett, Crash Out Crockett, let's call it that. Crash Out Crockett, that is what she does not do. She is sitting up here because she called that Marjorie Taylor a bad-built, itch body, whatever she called her. And now because these feminnuts, these white feminnuts are on her tip, she thinks that that's what the Negro is calling more for. No, we want policies. We want lineage-based cash reparations. You hear that? We want an end to qualified immunity. We want an anti-Black and enforced anti-Black hate crime bill. Okay, I'm looking to bring you guys a broadcast. I got about 200,000 views and counting on a post that's gone viral of this. I'm going to call him a grown-ass man. I think, okay, let me back up. Slow down, Angela. Some folks don't know this story. In Rialto, California, there was a gigantic middle schooler. He looked 18, which leads me to believe he is an illegal in middle school over here to benefit off of what is ours, what our ancestors built with their lives. That's why I said to call ICE when I sound the alarm, okay? He was gargantuan compared to this little sister. She looked African-American. I mean, you know, that's flat in this country, so I don't know if she's from another country. I'm not into that part. The only square I stand on when it comes to the Negro is lineage-based cash reparations. But the rest of me wants all Black looking, the melanated immigrants and the Negro to be protected. I don't want any of us suffering these abuses. And so I shared a viral video, which I cannot share here, but it was diabolical. The video shows this, let me try to be politically correct, this grown boy. They try to say he's 14 years old in middle school and that she was 14 in middle school. Now, when I was coming up, middle school, I went to middle school till 13, but I know that there was a birthday thing, so some folks was in middle school and they were 14 too. But this boy looks grown. He is slamming this baby girl around like a rag doll. He finally takes her head and slams it into the desk, and she falls to the floor temporarily unconscious while the substitute teacher looks on. And these niggering fools up in my X-Files want to sit up here and defend his actions. They want to pretend that the substitute teacher sat through this young sister hitting him upside the head with a hydro flask, one of them water bottles. She just, out of the blue and unprovoked, she just picked up her water bottle and started slamming him in the head. But he had the consciousness to continue to toss her around on the camera. They want to tell us the part we did not see was her out of the blue, unprovoked, taking the hydro flask and whamming the boy over the head. He showed no signs of injury. He showed no signs of a concussion. As these other immigrants, and I don't know what the sub was doing. I don't know if she was in the classroom. I don't even know who it was. But from my understanding, they didn't start to do anything or investigate this until we got live. And I thank you, everyone who made a call. We sound the alarm so tough when that post went out on the X-Files. We sound the alarm so tough, family, that they took the phones off the hook. I called everybody because it could have been my child. It could have been your child. And they want to niggardly say, oh, you just getting all animated over a couple of examples. And this is what they love to do. They love to gaslight and say, you got all this animus towards the immigrant. But what about when it's black on black? Isn't this what they default to every single time the race soldiers and the deputized executes an unarmed black man, woman, and child? Nobody wants to deal with the fact that the government's war on drugs and war on poverty is how we got to black on black crime in America. Nobody wants to talk about that part, but they are quick when they are in the wrong to victimize the victim. And so I'm here to tell you, this is what I'm saying. We need an enforced anti-black hate crime bill. I want the protections that the Jews have up in this piece that my ancestors built with their very lives. That's what I want for my people. Okay? That's what I want for my people who have earned that right, who built this country with their lives, that everybody comes from every place else. Instead of building up their own, they come over here and turn it onto ours because it's already built. It's already the land of milk and honey due to our ancestors. Their blood and bones are in this soil. And so I need enforced anti-black hate crime bills where it's against the law to talk against the Negro. It's against the law to call us out of our names. It's against the law to put your grimy hands on us. It's against the law for you to murder us when we are unarmed. I want all of that. Okay? And so, anywho, let me fast forward a little bit on that story because I'm going to bring in, well, I'm crossing fingers and toes. Shout out to Carolyn, whom I saw at the town hall on reparations yesterday. Shout out to Michael Cooper, everybody, Darlene. It was so good to be reunited with my co-founders of the former ADOS movement, which have branched off to be NASD, CJEC, and LEAP out in California. They go by different names throughout the country because it was more than just out here. Okay? But I was so thrilled to see everyone yesterday. It was just epic. I've had an epic weekend, but that was one of the highlights. Anywho, there was a mother there from Rialto, and she shared the truth. Yes, because they're trying to make it seem like the young black sister hit him over the head, which provoked him to slam her damn near to unconsciousness. She was temporarily unconscious. They tried to make it seem like she picked a fight with this boy who was 3 times her size. But they didn't want to talk about how that illegal, I'm going to call him illegal until somebody tells me otherwise. He's got to prove otherwise. They didn't talk about how he was throwing water on her and another girl, and she was telling him to stop. He was calling her out of her name. She was all kind of bees and monkeys and ninjas. Nobody talked about the verbal assault and the flashing of the water. The sub didn't talk about it. The other immigrants in the room didn't talk about it. And what y'all don't know is that this particular school, J-Hue Middle School, J-E-H-U-E Middle School, yes, continue to call. Continue to call. You know why? Because they had the unmitigated gall to put charges on the victim. Put charges on the victim because they collectively came together and said that she was the one to instigate the fight. And she was not. Y'all know the history of California. They have literally tormented and tortured and bombed Negroes up out of California. We're now only 2 million in the entire state. And the highest rates of unemployment, underemployment, and homelessness. So continue to call. It's over on my X-Files if you need to see it at TRPTV_1. You can follow me there. Y'all should be following me over there because that's where I swing the most chairs. Okay. That's where I go in and give them that work. Okay. But anywho, so let's continue to call and put on the pressure. But what I learned from the mother who was a mother of another young black boy that was at that town hall yesterday. Lord, I need my fan. I'm already working myself up into a lather. Anywho, what I learned from her was how few black children are in those schools. That these schools are mostly Little Mexico. J-Hue Middle School is 91% Mexican. Something like 3.5% black children. Okay? And a smaller percentage of Asian and white. And so they have no agency. And she has tried to get in there. They don't even want to talk about this until some type of council meeting coming up in April. Can you believe it? This girl has got to wait to get due process until April. It is diabolical, family. And this is what happens when you continue to vote blue, no matter who, and the couch. It works against our babies. They are sitting up here, setting our children up for the preschool to prison pipeline by teachers who hate them because of their skin. And we can't admonish the parents. I don't know how many jobs they've got to have to survive in a state where you really need a median income of about $150,000 to $170,000 just to be on par. Okay? It's very expensive out here. So I don't know if the parents are putting their children in these hostile schools because they have no choice. They've got to live in these communities that have been taken over by Little Mexico. And, you know, they can't stay home and educate their children. I don't know. But the bottom line is she talked on how few of us that are out there, how they will not allow the Negro parents to have any agency or say in the affairs of what's going on with their children. As a matter of fact, that viral video was hidden for some time. They didn't even tell the parents that it happened. The parents found out once the video went viral. The nation found out. I tell you, on my own post, it was 200,000. Okay? And so these kids can literally be just a couple in a classroom. And they're dealing with this torturing and taunting on a regular basis. And it's not just happening in California, although it's been happening out here for years. But as California has gone, the nation is going. Our children, that's why I got that series called Tyrone Can't Read because Jose can't speak Spanish. This is hostile. And that's what we're not going back to, Skamala. Let's be real clear. That's not what we're going back to. So I'm going to find more about that school board meeting in April, and we'll probably take myself a nice drive down there and see what's going on, schedule permitting. In the meantime, I'm leaning in, and I'm encouraging others to do it as well. I'm encouraging you to do every call to action I put in front of you, even the ones for California. I'm asking you when I share links that you go in there 3 times a day. If you can't do 3 times a day, at least go in and sign it once a day. Blow it up. Because what I found out also at this meeting was that they're literally stealing every idea that has come out of the task force to bequeath immigrants and refugees. They got a whole Senate bill that we have now got to, not only do we have to work to our advantage in this state, we got to work to defeat the others with larger numbers. But we're capable when we make my calls to action go viral and the nation of Negroes gets involved, akin to the way you got involved during the task force hearings, giving testimony, signing whatever we sent your way, participating in all the calls to action. We could not have gotten lineage-based reparations without your support. So we still need your support, and we're willing to lend our support when you're trying to do the same for wherever you herald from. But we need all Negroes on deck. This is ethnocide and economic genocide of exponential proportion, and we don't have time to tarry. With that being said, why in the world did I just give a 20-minute monologue on a topic? I was saying all that to say we need enforced anti-Black hate crime bills. And then I'm going to bring in people from Rialto that are familiar with what went down onto the broadcast, because we're, as usual, relying on intel from race soldiers and from immigrants and illegal criminals to tell us from their perspective. I have yet to see the parents come out and say anything. I have yet to see the young sister on anything, because they're not going to share these things with you on the Demonrat mainstream media. It went viral in the X spaces, and they're certainly not going to tell the truth. They're going to always seek to demonize and to criminalize the Negro. Okay? You can't believe none of what you hear from them. Hi, Yaira, baby. I see you, Michael Penn. Jay Wonder. Welcome to live. Let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Okay. Lord knows I got too much to do. And y'all know I was born to talk. This ain't new to y'all. My day ones, my day twos, my day threes. But class has got to go in session because I have got to cook the crash out Crockett on this live. And y'all know I'd be remiss if I didn't have a ram in the bush for y'all to help me make go viral. Because the Demonrats are demon ratting. Yes, they are. They are literally trying to destroy his chances of winning District 30 in Texas. And so although he's not responded to my request to have him come on to the reparationist perspective, I'm still going to endorse him here. Now, I've seen something questioning his status. Well, listen, based on what I've learned about him, I'm not really giving a damn about his status at this point, because the way Crash Out Crockett got position was she went, what do they call it? Uncontested. Nobody ran against her. So until the soil shows up and runs for office the way I've been telling you all to do, you see, I can't run for office because somebody got to keep the high watch. Somebody got to tell the TR Ruth. Somebody got to tell it like a TI is. And I don't want to be affiliated with crashing out over the Negro. My only concern. Now, when you are running for office, your only concern cannot be the Negro. That's not going to work well. But I don't give a damn about nobody but the Negro. So my campaign has ended before I can even get off the ground. Okay? So when I hear a brother who loves a nuclear Black family, okay, who is America first, unakin to Crash Out Crockett, who believes in Americans having American jobs and American businesses, It's no different than when I held my nose to go vote for Trump. He had something I needed. I eked me out a tangible called deportation, closed borders. And this channel is about teaching you how to weaponize your vote and socialize your suffering. It's in the description bar. That's what I'm here to do. To wake the Negro up, to get them and keep them off the Demonrat plantation. It ain't a party thing. It's a Negro freedman flourishing thing. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Let's go. We gonna be here all night, and I promise you, TRP, you should run for political office. Michael, I cannot because I already just ran down why. Somebody got to keep the high watch. That's what I'm here to do. But until Negroes from the soil run for office, then I really don't want to hear y'all dogging out a man who's about the nuclear black family, who's for reparations. I don't know that he can be real loud about it, but I got some things to share in his own handwriting. Y'all got to get out your emotional bag, because being emotional, being on identity and respectability parlay tricks is why we are bottom cast in every metric of humanity in this country. And we're getting up off this bottom as long as I got breath. Okay? With your help. Okay, let's go. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. And if you want to be a producer of tonight's broadcast, hit the Cash App, $TRPTV. Okay, let's go. I'm going to try to make it fun. I'm trying not to get in my bag, but we got a lot to cover, y'all. I hope you got your libations or whatever you sipping on. Water, agua. Okay? Somebody commented, she looks younger than most millennials I know, because I drink my water. You're supposed to drink your ounces of water in body weight. So if you are 175 pounds, you're supposed to drink 175 ounces of agua. It keeps us even younger. It's an elixir. Our bodies are made of water. Let me take a sip. Put the sugary drinks down and drink more agua. Let's go. All right, y'all. So what I'm going to do, let's talk about the class tonight. We're going to look over some crash out Crockett's. Now, I'm going to pause because I don't have time to play it for you, then go comment. When God gives me something to share, I'm going to share it in the moment, okay? And that way we can get through. So we're going to look at Crash Out Crockett, and then we're going to look at Shon Daniels, the solution, okay? We're going to look over. I'm just teaching you and showing you what you must do when you see misrepresentation of the Negro on the world stage. You got to go for their seats. As a matter of fact, we need to take everybody down in the congressional black caucuses and replace them. But until the Negro runs, it is what it is. But we must do it because it's detrimental to us to have these people in office. So let's share I'm going to share, and then we're going to talk it through. Okay, stand by, family. Just give me a second. I don't want to disconnect us, so I have to move with some slowness here. Let's see here. So we're just going to go through her stuff, and I'm going to talk about it. So Brandon Tatum says, shocking, not really. Jasmine Crockett says she's rooting for Canada and Mexico over the United States because they are really the ones that are speaking truth to power right now. Let's check it out.
Been the one to call it out. The fact that I'm rooting for Canada and I'm rooting for Mexico a lot is really wild, but they are really the ones that are speaking truth to power right now. They can see what it is, and they were like, we are not messing with this crazy regime from Mar-a-Lago, and basically calling them thugs. That's what it is. But I'm like, y'all knew who he was when y'all elected him, so don't act surprised. He's been the one to call it out. The fact that I'm rooting for Canada.
So let's talk about this dimwit who I will show you later. Oh, let me make sure oh, Lord, I didn't even check to see if y'all could see and hear. I hope y'all saw and heard that. I can see it. I hope y'all heard it. But let me just, speak a little bit on Canada and Mexico speaking truth to power. You got, and then she wants to call Mar-a-Lago the thugs. She wants to call Trump and them the thugs, right? This woman didn't say anything about being for Americans. She's crashing out over Canada, who has done the same to Canada as Joe Crow and Skamala did to this country. She wants to talk about Mexico, who is raping and bringing fentanyl into the Black communities, because that's where they're bringing them, into our communities, to ethnocide us, to genocide us. This is who she is rooting for. Mexico don't even want these people back. It's a whole cartel ring going on. And the U.S. was involved. Trafficking of children, raping children. This is who the Demonrats represent. But she wants to call Trump a thug, who is trying to get this nasty element out of the country against their opposition. They've got the loudest mouths and are working against Trump, calling him out of his name, doing all manner of things disrespectful. When we, the people, voted for deportation, closed borders, and to get these drugs out of our communities and to get these illegals out of our communities so that we can get gainful employment on the construction sites and things of that nature. Let me not get ahead, because I've got some things to speak on when she talks about why they're over here to do certain jobs, and she's lying in your face. Stand by, let me share. Just lying. You got to use your critical thinking skills, or you're going to perish. That's what's going to happen if we don't get on the same page and move as a block. Hold on, family. I got to go through the slides. Hold on, y'all. My apologies. Where is this crazy girl? Okay. I guess I'm going to have to close some of them out in order to get to the others. So let me just keep going. They won't be in any specific order, but I got comments. I'll do Sheldon second to her. He'll be what we end with. Let's play this one.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated, because they really want our local law enforcement to go out and round up people when they could be looking out for the murderers and the sexual abusers as well as the robbers. They want them to go and round people up on civil accusations. And so it is not a criminal violation to.
So let me share a little bit about this nonsense. She's a whole lawyer saying that illegal criminal is not a crime. This is very concerning, family. You never see the likes of her on the Hill going this hard about unarmed Black men, women, and children being annihilated by the race soldiers and the deputized. But she's literally, look at the woman's face to the left. Looking at her like, you dumb, stupid itch. To sit up here and say that illegal criminality is not a crime. Crime is in the name criminal. There is nowhere in the law that states this is a misdemeanor to break into the country illegally. If it wasn't a crime, why did they go into hiding the minute Trump gained office? Because they realized even they had broken the law. Now, they did so upon invitation of her and her party. This is what she votes for. But to be a whole lawyer and say breaking into anyone's country illegally is not a crime, that's the crime. Cry, shout, Crockett, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the next one. I'm going to speed through her nonsense because I know y'all have heard other people's perspective, but I got to put my spin on it too. I got something to say. And I think the shame, I'm making shame a comeback. Shame is making a comeback because this is diabolical. How she is coming to the defense of immigrants over the Negro whose ancestors built this country with their very lives. It makes me question her background. Who are you? I don't give a damn if you were born in the U.S. It don't make you us. And you moving real greasy and sleazy, Miss $9 million net worth. Let's keep going. Got too much to cover. I'm going to try to stay on topic and get through all my slides. Get through all my X-File. Hold on, y'all. Okay, that's that. I got to take this out. Removed from the studio. Okay, great. Let's go to the next slide. This is a hot mess. I'll be able to read your comments, co-host. Just let me get through all of what I got to share and what I got to say. So Revolutionary Blackout states that Jasmine Crockett is a black Zionist. She voted to arm Israel in the middle of their genocide. She also voted to arm Nazis in Ukraine. The fact that Demonrat is pushing her as a leader shows the party is morally dead. No lies detected. Sharing my screen again. We're trying to click through these X-Files, okay? This post. Did y'all know that this is from Shon Daniels? Did y'all know that this was new to me? This is today years old. I just found this out. Did y'all know that Representative Jasmine Crockett pretended to represent the late, great Botham Jean, and his family had to sue her to make her stop because she wouldn't do it when they asked her nicely? She is a total fraud. So these are things that I'm finding out about her as I was, researching what to bring you. Things that you may not know about. I'm going to bring you a little old thing you may know, and I'm going to bring you some new things, okay? So you can go run tell that. Stand by. Let me share my screen. Hold on, family. Lord, I had so many more. Let's see what this. Okay, that's not it. Make sure you can see it. Okay, you can.
Then he's just telling a lie. He's not the one.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from Doge back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID that was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate.
Lies! Flag on the cosplay, flag on the play. Trump literally cut the checks and had his name on them. He put his name on those checks before he left office or before the election was stolen from him, allegedly, and in my opinion, his signature was on my check. I think I actually got a direct deposit. But Trump signed those checks. Now, I do remember Joe Crow lying to the people and saying he was going to give $1,200 if they put Raphael Warnock in office if he won Georgia. Okay, I do recall him lying to the people akin to how he lied to us and said he was going to end qualified immunity and he was going to sign the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act into law. Yeah, he lied about that to get the Negro sheep walking to the polls to vote against their own interest. And I do believe that one check came out under him, but I do recall, if my memory serves me, I think Trump did one or two checks before he got out of office. Joe Crow, I think, did one check and then lied to get the people to sheepwalk to the polls to vote against their own interests. Now, Atlanta is going the way of California. Let's keep going. Got too much to share.
Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that
this is akin to what the Demonrats do. And the reason why, if there's no money to do it, is because Trump has been showing us through Doge how much money they're laundering through U.S. aid and the like. If there's no money to do it, it's because Joe Crow and Skamala ran the country into a $36 trillion deficit with the T. But for you to get on here, knowing that you make about $174,000 a year, knowing that your net worth is over $9 million, this is what's problematic about you stating you don't know what folks is going to do with $5,000. Let's keep going.
Those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We have
living in different times, created by whom they supported. Fauci and the Wuhan labs, allegedly, and in my opinion. All of this, shutting down the country. Trump had to close down the country, but let's talk about the origins of this nonsense. Let's talk about the pandemic that they continue to benefit from. It's why you've got most of the country living on credit cards, working several jobs to make ends meet, to pay off the debt, because in all honesty, the debt of that pandemic is ours to pay. Our children will be paying on this debt well into the future. $36 trillion. So while she sits up here and blames Trump, who's been in office 2 months, who left them with a lucrative economy, jobs were flowing, at least in California. The Negro, well, let's not say Negro because they flattened blackness. Black unemployment was 5% under Trump. They wouldn't even tell us what the unemployment numbers were under Joe Crow. This is why we must weaponize our votes and socialize our suffering, family. Let's continue.
Had a once in a lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime, because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently.
Haven't y'all heard of Ebola and the bird flu and all these things to make you afraid? All of these things to make you scared to leave your house. All these things to terrorize you into what is coming next. How do you know that, Bill Gates? How do you know that, Crash Out Crockett? Because y'all are creating it. That's how you know. You're creating it. Because you need to keep fueling the pharmaceutical companies. You need to keep injecting people, allegedly, in my opinion, with conveys. I got to use certain coded language because to this day, they strike my broadcast, even though everybody else can talk about it, not the reparationist perspective. She can't talk about it. They will take my videos down. So I've got to use a little pig Latin, but you can get the idea of what I'm talking about. They need us for medical apartheid. That's what they're doing to Black bodies. And as you saw throughout the country, there was a boomerang. And they were the ones that lost more people. Because let me help you understand something. If it had worked as intended to wipe out the Negro, there would have never been a rushed abjay, convey. There would have never been a rush on it. had it done as it was intended. If you look at the continent of Africa, they didn't have to shut down. What did they do? They barred the glacier donkey from coming into town. The glacier donkeys could not come into the continent. That's what they did. You didn't see the Caribbean going through this. And we lost so many people. My own mom, may she lay and rest in peace, because she was afraid. And Joe Crow told us, you will lose your jobs if you don't lay down and take this. They didn't give a damn about your medical background. None of it. It was a mandate. That didn't happen under Trump. That happened under Joe Crow and Skamala. So she's already projecting that something's coming because they're creating it. Let's go.
And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence. So no.
So the Trump administration and RFK, they're the incompetent ones, when Fauci, whom they defend, was the one to cook up the first pandemic, allegedly, and in my opinion, in the Wuhan labs. He's been on trial, all but trying to refuse to testify to the fact. I don't even know if it was a trial or a congressional hearing, where I've seen the Republicans drilling down on him. And then why would Joe Crow give him protections? Why would he give him a pardon? If you were innocent, what are you being pardoned from? I'll wait, put it in the chat. If you are innocent, why do you need a pardon? Why don't you allow your day in court if you're innocent? I'm not running from court if I'm innocent.
We are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from Doge
Let's go back to that part.
back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000.
We are not in the business of giving out money. And she honestly doesn't know what you're going to do with $5,000. If you're not in the business of giving out money, how do you explain the billions that you've given to proxy wars in Ukraine, and to Israel? If you're not in the business of giving out money, what about the billions you spent to ethnocide, genocide, economically genocide the Negro all throughout the country? The billions you've spent, our tax dollars, our reparations, our Social Security to replace the Negro vote and the Negro at large. You spend billions federally, you spend billions statewide to dispose of the Negro. That's what you've been doing because it ain't in nobody else's communities. This is how it went in California. And then you want to sit up here and say, I don't know what y'all gonna do with $5,000 because you don't have a job. What you talk about, Crash Out? What you talking about? That ain't no big a lot of money, but it's more than most even have, especially when you're dealing with the Negro who suffers the highest rates of unemployment, underemployment, and homelessness nationwide. She is a dingbat of exponential proportion. Let's keep going. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these people pretending to represent us. Hold on, family. More to share. Uh-oh, troll alert. Who is it, baby? Who's a troll? Lord, I need to learn how to give y'all wrenches. I don't even know how to do that. Okay, I'll get to him. Say it in Tut, sister. Mulatto rights activist. I don't know Tutnese, okay? We would need Dawn. Wood up, okay? Let's block him. Let me see. It's okay. When you say Wood up is a troll, do you mean he's calling us out of our names or something of that nature, Yai? Because, I don't really care if you have an opposing opinion, because then I can roast you when I come back over here to read these comments. Good for her. She doesn't have to listen to you anymore. That ain't nothing. She doesn't even sound intelligent, says What up. Right now, Yai, I don't feel like, I don't believe that What up is a troll. I was talking about Jasmine, not Angela. Yeah, see, okay, family, listen. These are the rules. Y'all, thank you, Yai, for looking out. Very good. But what I need you to do is really, really scrutinize. I don't mind opposing opinions. It gives me an opportunity to teach. When I come to read the comments, it's a great exchange. But if they are disparaging the Negro or doing anything that is in opposition to telling the truth about our greatness, our beauty, our brilliance, our genius, and they trying to throw chairs and be slick with it, then please let me know and put their name so when I come back, I can delete their comments. My people have been traumatized enough. You will not do it over here. Just like in the X-Files when y'all come with that dum-dum, you will be blocked, never to return. So there you have it. If you want to F around and find out on a Sunday, try me. I don't play about my people. Understood? Let's keep going. I have a lot to share. I'm going to try to get y'all out at a decent hour, but we're already at 7:30. Thank you, baby. And I love that you look out for me. And please continue to. But it really has to be egregious for me to get rid of them. Okay, stand by, family. We got a little bit more. And then we're going to get into Sheldon, because this is what we must do with everyone. I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay? Let's look at this. I wanted to make a comment on this. Thank you, Queen Yasmin. She didn't take my time. I try to get y'all in the bed before midnight. I'm doing my best, family, but thank you for the grace. Let's show this one. This is a good one, but I got some corrections to make on her.
Savings from Doge back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
You are the most selfish ghetto congresswoman we have other than AOC. Both of y'all have millions of dollars and you could care less about your constituents and about the American people.
I'm wearing my Gucci sneakers. The clerks may get too mad if they saw my Jordans.
So ghetto and so greedy. The 2 G's. That's probably why you like Gucci. Greedy. Ghetto. The sneakers that you were wearing are about $1,000. Belt? About $550. And where was your big mouth in criticizing Joe Biden, the Democrats giving $700 to people that had ashes, the Democrats under Joe Biden that was apparently in the business of funding wars? We're giving billions to illegal immigrants. Since when are American taxpayers supposed to pay for illegal immigrants? And by the way, it seems like every week you have a new wig on or you have a different hairstyle. That can't be cheap. Millions of dollars on your hair, on your wigs, on your fancy Gucci. $5,000 can get people lots of wigs, apparently. This one was $269. And I really hope the Doge team investigates every centavo, every cent, because you and AOC are multimillionaires. How did that happen with $100,000 salary? And remember, you can have all the riches, but you came from rags. And I would argue you're still one.
Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, so let me address that. This woman did not come from rags. She comes from money, which is why I question her background. And it's not the Negroes don't have money to educate their children, but she's been privately educated from since she was in grade school. all the way up and through her JD. Okay? So, no, that's why I had to share that one. I like what she was saying. I like the drag. I really don't care who drags Crash Out Crockett. I'm for that. But I don't like when they try to say that these people come from the same things we come from. I was middle class, you know, in my community, and yet my house was down the street from the projects. But at that time, we could afford homes. I've got to concern myself with how to make sure my daughter has property. I got to concern myself with buying another property to give this one to her because she's not going to be able to afford this property for some time. And I don't want her ever knowing what it's like to pay rent. I want her to have built-in equity. So that means I've got to be my child's own reparations, as do you. That's not Jasmine Crockett. And I question where she is really from. But like I told y'all, they are scrubbing these inches of net to make sure you can't figure out that they're immigrant, first and maybe second gen. And that's problematic because when you're voting Demonrat, when you're voting identity and respectability tricks, you get Crash Out Crockett's that are in office and will never fight for your people to get up off the bottom of this Titanic. Like I always state, I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm anti the government's weaponization of immigration against the Negro while weaponizing our never-ending Holocaust to our extinction. I'm anti our government pushing the murder of more Black babies on us while illegals take a foot into the country and birth citizens with our 14th Amendment. That's what I'm anti. For those of you who want to continue to call me names, I really don't care. It doesn't bother me like it used to in the beginning. It used to hurt my feelings. I've grown a very thick skin since 2016. I'm no longer a baby at this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, okay? Let's keep going. But this is what happens when you choose to vote the couch. You allow people who hate you and want to see your total destruction and your total erasure and replacement with other groups of people with your reparations while weaponizing your never-ending Holocaust. They take our history and weaponize it against us to uplift them. I just told y'all. Here in California, they sent us away for 2 years to study about the Holocaust we endured out here, which they already know all the facts, right? We got sent away to study with a $96 billion surplus. They drove it down to an $88 billion deficit while we studied and studied and studied. 1,100 pages worth of harms and a good 50 pages of recommendations. And what did they do? They took from our study, didn't require one for the immigrants and the refugees, and took what we devised for our own Office of Freedmen Affairs to use SB 12, Senate Bill 12, to give the refugees and the immigrants an office. That's what the Demonrats are on. And like I constantly tell you, it ain't a party thing. This is a protest voter strategy. They will never see control of this country as long as I have breath until they unass our cash. Okay, let's keep going. Hallelujah. Pass the plate. I had a wonderful time at church, y'all, today. Oh, my God. Anywho, let me keep going. Girl, listen, guys and dolls, I started a whole line dance to Fred Hammond's Blessings on Blessings. Child, I was in there line dancing. The whole church, the pastor, everybody was line dancing. It was epic. So I'm flying high from my service, and I refuse to allow anyone or anything to disrupt the calm peace of my soul. Y'all know how we do it over here. We talk politics, but in the end, I'll put a covering over y'all, okay? Because I love y'all. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Keep going. Y'all like, girl, will you please stay on topic? Ooh, wait. Let me see if I have any more Crash Out Crockett before I get to Sheldon. And we are going to look at who he is, okay? Give me a second. Make sure I went through all her dumb stuff. Oh, no. I got a couple more little Jasmine Crockett's to show y'all the embarrassment she is. Hold on, family. Lord, I done worked myself up into a sweat twice today. Lord have mercy. 3 times because I went out power walking earlier. That's why I took me a nap, y'all. That's why I couldn't come at 5:30. I had to lay it down. I've been partying hard all weekend. Hold on. More of Crash Out Crockett, y'all. Stand by.
First of all, thank you for making the back of my head famous. But second of all, if we could do a sequel, if you could tell Donald Trump anything tonight, what would you tell him?
I would tell him to grow a spine and stop being Putin's hoe.
First of all, thank you for making the back of my head.
So you see how these white folks, these glacier donkeys, keep putting batteries in her back. The Karens and the Kens throughout the country keep putting batteries in her back. She sat up here and you heard what she called Trump. I will not repeat it. I just want to show you how much of an embarrassment these kind of people are on the world stage, representing us. It's a disgrace. And so that's why I use my voice to tell all about it, to set the country and the world straight on who we really are. I have to add to those of us in the new Black media sharing about these kinds of things to take back the narrative concerning the Negro in this country. To show people that we are the most moral, the most beautiful, the most brilliant. I use this platform so that these videos can reach as many people as they can with your assistance to share, to put the dignity where it belongs. We are the moral compass of this country. And so when they come out and do dumb stuff like that, they're going to get a video about them. So I can counter the niggerants. Because they love to make the niggerants go viral. And these glacier donkeys love to put money behind the Crash Out Crockett's that don't represent me or anybody I know. Let's keep going. I don't know any educated Black women, myself included, that sit up here and disparage people on national TV and use expletives and act as ghetto as we see her acting. It is diabolical because she's not even cut from that. But the Karens and the Kens and the Demonrats keep putting batteries in her back. And it's going to cost them elections. And that's what I'm here to do. To cost her the next election. Stand by. Let's keep going. No time to tarry. Done it enough. Let's keep almost done with her. Some things I just have to memorialize here.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Fuck off.
That's it. If you could.
Now, the reason why you want him to F off is because he's exposing how you guys have become millionaires on 6-figure salaries. That's why you want him to F off. And he's getting his share. Honey, y'all just need to be sipping y'all's tea and eating your popcorn. Do you hear me? This ain't our monkey nor our circus. This is a fight between the antebellum and the Ellis Island whites. We just need to sit back because they wondering where we at. We on vacation. and doing the work to put the mask on our people exclusively. Everybody else off the tip. It's a beautiful sight to behold. Elon is getting that work. They burning down Tesla car companies. They are doing the most. I think Trump even had to come out and tell the people to please buy his cars. I just love seeing it crash and burn. I love when we're not the only ones in distress, because don't you feel good, family? I don't know about y'all, but as they implode, I feel mighty at peace. Just when the Demonrats are in control of the country, we are the only ones in distress. But when the Republican clans are in charge, I'm independent. I'm on the protest vote. That's what I'm on. I'm an independent pushing protest votes throughout everybody's city and state. I'm in everybody's business. Because had they listened to me in Chicago, they wouldn't have got Brandon Johnson. Had they listened to me in New York, they wouldn't have got Eric Adams. Because I'm living here in California. So I sounded the alarm. Okay? So I'm doing the same for Texas. Y'all can take it or leave it, but I'm doing it anyway to teach us how to weaponize our vote and socialize our suffering. Let's keep going. This is some good stuff. Stand by, family. I'm just scrolling through to make sure I'm giving you everything about the crash out Crockett. I don't think I gave you everything, but we're going to leave it where it is because I don't have time to be opening up more slides for y'all for the X-File. And then we can move on to Sheldon. Oh, I love this one. Let's do this one. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Welcome to the live, beloveds. Let's go.
Y'all know who this is? If you don't know, let me introduce her to you. This is Jasmine Crockett. She's on the other side. She is against Trump sending Americans a $5,000 check. She stated we don't need it. Now, this coming from the woman who makes $174,000 a year. She owns stocks in MGM Resorts, Moderna, Devon Company, and her net worth is $9 million. You see, that other party, they want everybody else at the bottom while they're the only ones at the top. They don't want to spread the wealth out. They want to hoard it to themselves. And y'all got a problem with President Trump and the Dream Team, but these are the people you endorse. These people don't want to see you with nothing. They want it all for themselves. Jasmine Crockett is the hater of today. But I get called all kind of names in my comments because I'm Black and I support Trump. But this the person y'all endorsing, her, the hater that don't want to see you with nothing? That's crazy. That is crazy, going against yourself for a party that don't care about you.
Boom, shakalaka. Baby girl said that there. Okay. So let's get on to who I believe the solution and the answer is. Republican Shon Daniels. Stand by. And I'm going to walk it through and talk it through. We're going to chew the elephant one bite at a time as we go through his website and things of this nature. Let's hear from him first. Stand by, family. The rest of the slides will be him. So to the people of Texas, Congressional District 30, Shon Daniels is the best candidate to represent you and your family. He's running to unseat the TikTok sensation, Representative Jasmine. Come on, Jasmine, debate this man. Whatever could you be hiding? Primary 2026 is crucial to keep the America First movement going forward. Now, I want to say something here. Understand your power. Understand your power with your vote. While we still have the power in the vote, I'm going to play the video momentarily. Jasmine is an immigrant. I don't know, Gwen XOXO. I can't find the truth of her parents and where they descend from. All they want to focus on is how she was born in Texas. That don't mean you are a descendant of the emancipated. Okay? I don't know, but they scrubbing, y'all. Ever since we learned to ask who you, they've been scrubbing. But they've got whole campaigns to try to defeat this brother, who I don't know if he's FBA. I don't know if he descends from us. I don't know his background either. But I'm not as interested in his background, given that the way Crash Out Crockett got nominated was because she ran uncontested. So I'm not really as invested when it comes down to stuff like this. I got to get rid of the crash test dummy. And that's what I taught you guys. Thank you, 28% who showed up to the polls to vote for deportation, closed borders, and to put the mask on your lineage first. Thank you. I'm doing the same thing. My revolution is being social media-ized. And so I saw this brother speaking on reparations. Well, I saw a post, and I'm going to share that momentarily. But I'm just going to go through the slides so I don't be having to jump all around trying to find what I want to tell y'all, and we'll deal with it one at a time, okay? Let me share what he's got to say. Stand by. And please be sure to like, share, subscribe. Turn on.
In law school, I was that guy.
Hold on. He also exposes Jasmine Crockett for allegedly stealing $16,000. These Demonrats are thieves and liars. I can't wait to show you that. Let's stand by.
All right, checking in. We just got back from one of the meet and greets out in the district, and it was at Wheatland Dental Care. By the way, you guys need to go support their business. Amazing people. Had almost packed house out there. A lot of people are excited about the campaign, and they cannot wait to see Jasmine gone. They cannot wait to yell, "Bye, Felicia," in 2026. But here's the thing. It's not just about getting Jasmine gone, guys. If you go look at my site, you see that Shon Daniels is not just a replacement for Jasmine Crockett, but I actually have really good policy ideas. I have some economic policy ideas that could change the way we live here in America, and it could forge a new partnership between the public sector and the labor force. And that's what I think we need going forward. No, we don't need any more of this competition between the working class and the people that own the businesses. If we can't figure out a way to work together and alleviate some of the ills in our society, then the government's just going to keep selling us these lies like we can't fix anything without them taxing us to death. That's just one thing right there. Also, America is under attack in general. Our border, me being from Texas, we're on the front lines as far as the southern border, but we feel it right here in Texas. And it's not just hardworking people crossing that border looking for a better life. There's a lot of drugs. There's a lot of fentanyl. There's terrorists. And there's people who want to see our country destroyed from the inside. They don't care about this country. They don't care about you or your kids or the life that you're trying to build or the dreams that you have. And so
let me pause right there. Now, he talks about being in a border state. And I am really over my friends trying to check me on the fact that our blues is not like theirs because they're in the Midwest, even though they see how Texas and Florida is shipping this into the places of Chicago and New York, Ohio, where this one friend is from, who wants to sit up here and tell me that the problems we got from being border states is not happening to them. You see, what we not going to do is wait like we always do until it's too late. I'm sounding the alarm now that this is coming to a demon-radically ran city and state near you, and it's been happening under Joe Crow's watch with about 25 million of them in the interior. Whatever number they give you, you need to double and triple it because they're liars and they're thieves. I watched them co-opt Bernie Sanders. Not that I'm a fan of his since finding him out. He's a whole crash test dummy for the Demonrats. He is running interference so a third party can't stand a chance. I worked this 2016 campaign. I watched Debbie Wasserman Schultz give away our donations to Crooked Killery. And when we went to court to fight over that fact, the judge told us that it's the Demonrat party. They can do with it what they damn well please. So if you're capable of stealing 2 primaries from Bernie Sanders to install Joe Crow, you tried it with Hillary, you tried it with Kamala, and we defeated you this time. But you'll never give the Negro credit for that. You'll never give our protest voter strategy credit for that. You see, you've got all the money. We've got all the influence. They're not listening to you, Michelle Obama, who just started up your podcast. It's an epic failure because you may be from some little square box on the south side of Chicago, but you are long removed from being one of us. Now you saw how Trump weaponized social media, the place where y'all tell me constantly ain't nothing getting done, while we upset an entire election that we don't get no credit for. Y'all tell the people not to listen to us. Y'all call us fake news. Y'all call us misinformation, disinformation, but who the people listening to? Now that they have found us, they're not listening to you, elitist. And so now they're trying to come into these spaces because they saw how successful it was for Trump to reach the youth that came out in droves. Even the black youth. I gotta find that video where their brothers are in that bodega and the guy is asking them through a plate glass, who you vote for, Kamala or Trump? And they was like, man, Trump, give me my change. Stop that. Is this a trick question? The brothers from the hood showed up because they realized in their limited education that to continue to vote Demonrat would be to their further economic genocide. You see, if the black man can't make money, he can't meet and marry a sweet black woman, Negro. I'm going to use Negro since black is flat in this country. Until we get all our monikers back, I'm going with Negro. It's on my birth certificate. I'm going with the Negro freedman, American Negro freedman, but to keep it short, Negro. If a black, it's a habit, y'all, because we are black. They're melanated. But they're making blackness in this country flatten about skin tone to economically genocide us. And no one is the wiser because why? Skin tone. They can steal and co-opt your history when they make blackness in America about skin tone. When they make African American about skin tone in this country. That's the way to ethnocide a whole people. With nuclear melanated immigrant families with money. That's the way you do it. Don't tell me I don't know. I've been in the OMB meetings where we've been fighting for delineation. And if that wasn't the nefarious plans of both the government, the Demonrats, don't know too much about the repugnant clans because, listen, I've only recently started voting for them in the midterms. Okay? And truth be told, I'm dealing with who we give the most votes to, who we've been voting for 70 years and are bottom caste in the country of our ancestors. So that's why they get all the smoke, because they got all the votes. So I've been in the meetings and heard them share, and I'm paraphrasing that the reason why our numbers stay stagnant in this country is because they're controlling it. They're controlling it through the war on drugs and the war on poverty. And as they genocide us, they are bringing in whole nuclear melanated immigrant families with money to take our position. And I've shared the data on the wealth position of the African blacks in the state of California as compared to the U.S. black. If you're new here, it's worth running down again. The African blacks were 60,000 liquid to U.S. black 200 liquid. They were 54% degreed to our 44% degreed. Their median income was $113,000 to our $53,500. Hispanics were 17% degree to our 44% degree, and yet their median income was within $3,500 of ours at $50,000 20 years ago, pre-pandemic. And if you don't believe me, you can look this data up all over the country. I know Boston has it's called LA Color of Wealth, I think is the name of it. It's a PDF. It's a free download. It was done in Boston. It was done in Florida. It was done in California. 2004 to 2014. So that's what the OMB shared. These melanated immigrants are here to replace us by cosplaying us. They want our position. And we continually give it to them when we vote the couch and when we vote Demonrats. Voting the couch is playing Russian roulette. It's playing American Negro roulette with the line. That's what you're doing. Let's keep going.
So we need people in the House, especially, that are going to protect this country and not be rooting for other countries against America, right? 2, that aren't going to be trying to just sow division with everything they say. 3, someone who can legislate with effect. My opponent brags about all the bills and things that she entered when she was in the Texas House, but if you can find one single bill that she actually got passed, I'll give you $5. I'll buy you lunch if you can find a bill that Jasmine Crockett got passed. I hadn't even been an elected official. Guys, I've already got laws passed. I've got ordinances passed to increase public safety. When I see a problem in the community, I don't just sit around on my hands. I do something about it. And that's the type of person I am. If you want to know what I'm talking about, look in the city of Sherman, where I'm from, my hometown. My cousin got hit by an illegal immigrant, drunk driving, killed him. And I noticed that it wasn't just him. There's a lot of people that were getting hit by drunk drivers. Pedestrians just getting no respect out in rural areas. And so I work with city officials and local officials, and I got an ordinance passed. I got a law passed that protected people riding bikes and walking on foot, so pedestrians in the road, to help make it safer for people, because out there, not everybody can afford a car. Some people need a bike to get to and from. I rode a bike all the way up until I was an attorney, pretty much. I had a scooter in law school. I was that guy. And so I know what it's like to struggle and to actually have to work hard for something better. That's how most of the people in my district are. If you listen to Jasmine, you would probably think that everybody in our district is ghetto and just sitting there with their hands out. And that's so far from the truth. TX30 is one of the most diverse districts in America. Not only do we have Black people from all different walks of life and all have different worldviews, we have amazing Mexican Americans, right? A lot of Tejanos, old school Mexican families that have been here since before Texas was even a state. Okay, these people aren't looking for handouts. Okay, we got a lot of small business owners like the ones that I met tonight, the Shug family. Okay, there's just a lot of hardworking people. You have people that are from Central and South America who English is a second language to them, but they love America. They couldn't wait to get here. They came here legally, and they work hard, and they make our country better. They make South Dallas better because they're here. I love their restaurants and their style and just the diversity that they bring. We have white people in our district, all different types of white people, mixed people. We have Asian people. We have different faith communities in TX30. It is not just one big ghetto full of people looking for a welfare check or a handout. Now, 17% of my district, they do live beneath the poverty line. But when you really break down those numbers, most of that 17% of people that live beneath the poverty line are single Black moms that have children aged 6 to 11 years old. And so when you talk about a fighter for TX30, if you're not fighting for hardworking families, if you're not fighting for small businesses, if you're not fighting for law-abiding citizens who just want to live and have a nice home that they can let their kids go play around the corner and not worry about them getting kidnapped or hit by a drunk driver or whatever the fears it is that we as parents have, right? Then you need somebody else. You don't need Jasmine. She's not fighting for us. She doesn't even have children. She's got no skin in the game when it comes to future thinking, when it comes to having a vision for families. She's got no children. She doesn't even want to let you guys know about her personal life in that respect. And I'm hearing, and the rumors are, I can't confirm, but I'm hearing it's because she dates a white man. So she talks all this crap about the white man this and the white man that. When she's laying up with the white man every night, she's selling us lies every day. She's pulling the wool over our eyes, everything she says. And I'm tired of it. Everybody's tired of it. I'm pissed off because I got a 5-year-old daughter who has to look up at this woman thinking that this is a damn role model, and I'm having to educate her otherwise. Imagine how many other families out there are dealing with this same issue. Jasmine, you got to go. I know you got your little staff watching these videos. I'm just going to tell you straight to your face. You got to go. You need to debate me. You need to debate me and prove that you actually earned that seat, that you deserve that seat. You didn't go up against any real conservative Republicans last time. You going up against me now. I'm a lawyer just like you. You're only a few years older than me. You came from Missouri down here to Texarkana, so you're rural Texas style. You think you know Texas now. So I'm challenging you to a debate. We can do it on live. I can fly to D.C. I can go anywhere you want to go, Jazz. Let's do it. I'm tired. I can't even wait 2 years. I need you gone today, right now. I need you to resign today, right now. Shon Daniels, TX30, out. Jasmine Crockett is for they, them. Shon Daniels is for you.
Boom. Shaka-laka. Jasmine Crash Out Crockett is for they, them, and Shon Daniels is for you. This ain't a party thing, family. It's a Negro flourishing thing. Do you hear me? It's a Negro flourishing thing. Let's keep going. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. So, meet Shon Daniels, Army veteran, attorney, small business owner, and the common sense fighter running to flip Texas 30. While Jasmine Crash Out Crockett chases headlines, I'm building a movement to put working families, small businesses, and public safety first. Join the fight. Let's keep going. Got a little bit more to go. Remind me that I have to bring you guys the video of Jasmine Crash Out Crockett supporting immigration and trying to justify them having jobs. Basically, she wants to put the immigrant into slavery for slave wages while our schools are being set up for the preschool to prison pipeline all throughout the country. And this is why I support school choice and to decimate the money pit that is the U.S. Department of Education, that is an abject failure to our children. We are like, I don't even know where we rank in terms of education throughout the world. But you've got countries with far less resources that are charting higher than us in terms of education. And if that's the case, why are you crying and wailing and gnashing your teeth to see the Department of Education decimated and to put a stop to the administration, which collects, I want to say 60% of those monies go into their pockets, while only 40% of those federal funds go to the public schools? Does that sound like a Department of Education that is for the Negro flourishing and being competitive in this country? Then why do I see so many ignorant Negroes fighting and trying to hold on to the Department of Education that's failing our children? And being overwrought with racist immigrants who think because they can mark the white box, akin to how this country made the Irish white, the Italians white, the Jews white, the Asians white. Now they're doing Latino white. But they always break their tools as they're finding out and being deported. This is a kind of hate that they're importing into our communities to traumatize our children. And I want to show that video. So please, Yaira or Gwen Exo or Carolyn or Beth, BB, please make sure you remind me that I want to show that video. I hope I don't forget. Let me make a note. Because I had it open, but I can't find it, so I have to find it again. We've got more to share. Stand by. Just let me make a note. Lord, I don't want to. Okay. I got to do that one because I got some comments to make, because she's pretending as if we're only being replaced and erased in the orange groves. And I've got some things to share with you to state otherwise. Stand by. Let me go to the next slide. Let's see what this one states. Okay. Oh, no. I want to do this last. I want to go over his site last. Let me stop sharing that for a second. I got some other little clips to show you. Stand by. Okay, let's see here. So let's see what this one is. Insurrection Barbie shares at Shon Daniels is running against Jasmine for us, and we need to do everything we can to help him unseat her. And that's my goal here today. Stand by, family.
It's called the President of the United States an enemy to this country. Why? Because he did what any strong leader would do. He demanded respect for the office and for the American people. So let's get one thing straight. President Trump didn't kick out Zelensky just to make a scene. He set a precedent. If you come to our house, our White House, you don't show up with demands. You show up with diplomacy. No more blank checks. No more begging. No more business as usual where American taxpayers foot the bill while foreign leaders call all the shots. The fact that Jasmine Crash Out Crockett is more offended by this than she is by billions of our tax dollars disappearing overseas tells you everything that you need to know about her priorities. She's not standing up for TX30. She's standing up for that same corrupt globalist agenda that's been draining this country and these people dry. If I were in Congress today, here's what I'd be focused on. Getting answers on where our money is going, demanding accountability, and making sure that American interests come first every single time. This is the time for nationalism. Jasmine would rather virtue signal on Twitter than actually do her job. She'd rather go on TV and talk than do her job. So no, our president is not an enemy to the country. The real threat is weak leadership, reckless spending, politicians that put foreign governments like Mexico, Canada, Ukraine ahead of the interest of the American people. TX30 deserves better. America deserves better. Let's bring some common sense to Washington in 2026. I'm Shon Daniels. I'm the candidate who's going to take Jasmine Crockett out of Congress and send her back to the beauty salon where she belongs. Jasmine Crockett is for they, them. Shon Daniels is for you.
Beautiful. Shon Daniels. And this is the way we get this done, family. We chew the elephant one bite at a time. We chew this elephant one bite at a time, and we make these kinds of videos that I'm sharing with you. We need to be solution-oriented. I'm not going to be the type of anchor that just trauma bonds with you. I'm going to search high and low. Where's the solution for my people? Where is the solution? That's what I'm on. What's the solution? Ain't no trauma bonding over here. Ain't no crying crocodile tears over here. We doing something about it. Okay? We fighting back. You throw a chair, we don't throw a chair. We fighting back. And this is the way we do it. Weaponize our vote. And always remember the Demonrats have declared war on us first. It's time to return the only missile we've got, the vote. We need to show up midterms to make sure we hold the line for the line. That they get no access, they get no power. Because this is what protests look like. And sure, there'll be a couple of casualties, but not as many as there would have been had we let y'all, not those of you who are conscious that are watching, those of you who are maybe on the fence and trying to open up your third eye. Had we not got out here and delivered Trump, that would have been the end of the lineage. She was on the precipice with the black vote of making 50 million more DACA and illegal citizens over repairing the Negro. And that's what we stopped, our extinction. And I'm looking for my tribe. I'm looking for those who really want to make good trouble. Unakin to the kind John Lewis who sold out the people talked about. I'm looking for folks from the soil and our allies that want to follow me in destroying and keeping our foot on the necks of the Demonrats until times get better in America for the Negro. Until we make America great for the very first time for the Negro. Not just a handful of us. I'm talking about the collective. Let's keep going. Hey, I hope y'all enjoying the live as much as I am. I really do. Oh, Lord, let's see. Put on my readers, y'all. This stuff can be a little tiny. I think this light is a little glaring, but if I take the light off of me, it'll be a little too dark for y'all. Let's keep going. Yeah, baby. I hope y'all ain't seen all of this before. Y'all know TRP likes to put her perspective on it. I think this is the one where he's sharing about how she stole from these people. Hold on. Allegedly, and in my opinion. Okay. Keep the comments coming, family. I'm coming. I know, y'all. I'm coming. Just, I got to get through all my slides first.
It's very peculiar that some.
I got to start over.
All right, guys. So I'm about to go to Randy Best's house, introduce myself, and just ask them straight up if they contributed to Jasmine's campaign, if they contributed that amount, and why they like her so much, because I might be able to learn a little bit of something while I'm up here. I'm way up here in Collin County. I'm in Plano, Texas, very far from TX30. It's very peculiar that somebody up here would give that much money to a candidate in our district. Maybe they have a special connection to the district. Let's go find out. I'm not going to film them. I'm not going to put any faces or anything on there. I'm just going to have my camera down at the ground. I'm going to be standing in a public area in open air. I'm just, recording what's going on around me. Let's see what happens. All right, here's the house. Here's the house right here. Here we go. How do you do, ma'am?
No soliciting.
I'm not here. I'm not a solicitor. I'm attorney Shon Daniels.
Okay.
Is there a Randy Best who lives here?
That's my husband.
Yeah. I just want to verify. Are you guys aware that you were charged over $16,000 last year? Yeah. I have a list of charges. I'm just here to verify that you guys know about this. $16,240 in political contributions to a candidate named Jasmine Crockett. Do you remember that at all? Does your husband remember that at all?
I don't know. He's on the road on his way to Colorado.
Okay. It says here that he's not employed. Is he employed now?
No, we're retired.
Okay. I can leave this with you if you want. It's got your information on it.
Yeah, you can just leave it on the table.
Yes, ma'am. You mind if I take a picture?
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Okay, guys, so I just drove by the home of this Randy Best guy. This guy, he's a 73-year-old retiree, unemployed. He and his wife, I guess they just travel around in an RV or something. I don't know, but he's on the road. His wife answered the door. She said that they had no idea what these charges were, and they had no idea that they were charged $16,000 or that they are responsible for $16,000 in political contributions to Jasmine Crockett. Yes, she has them listed as political contributors. Now, mind you, I'm way up here in Plano. I'm in a totally different county. I'm in Collin County right now. The only reason why I'm even able to do this is because I practice law all over North Texas and I drive all over. So I know North Texas very well. Collin County, Dallas County, Tarrant County, Denton County, Grayson County. A lot of shady stuff going on with Jasmine Crockett. And I see why she was doing all this, because she's trying to distract from the corruption. I wonder how deep it goes.
So, Shon Daniels has become his own Doge. Shon Daniels is his own Doge. He is finding the fraud, and I can attest to what he's saying because I just shared with y'all how the Demonrats took our contributions to Bernie and gave them to Crooked Hillary, and the courts told us it's their party. They can do with it as they please. Now, that should have been enough for the American people. But clearly it wasn't, the way they continue to vote for the Demonrats. So let me keep going, family. Just a second. So I want to show y'all this. I shared this text exchange that was shared by Dawn from CBAC. This is a Republican at Shon Daniels, I state, running against at Jasmine for Us. Okay, I put their names up in here. This is how you weaponize your vote and end Demonrats for several election cycles. And so how many views? That one only got 403, I think. I don't really know. I think so. Okay, but I'm reaching people, and this is how we've got to do it, family, because they are coming for Shon. And the news outlets won't really talk about him. He had something on Fox, but the other demon-radically ran mainstream media networks like MSNBC, CBS, ABC, NBC, they will not bring him on. And Jasmine is refusing to debate him. Now, I want to share about some debate information coming up, but I don't know that she'll show. Will she show or not? Because she's been running from the debate. So Shon Daniels says, we're demanding reparations from all nation states that participated in the institution of slavery that landed ADOS in particular, stuck here in the USA. And for those of you who are new, ADOS is the American Descendants of Slavery, okay? I am one of the many co-founders of the former ADOS movement that is broken up. I don't want to get into those reasons. If you watch the video from last week, Chicago Red ain't affiliated with Chicago Flip Red. Say what now? You will be able to hear a whole room about why we left. Well, we didn't really leave. We were kicked out because we refused to give up our intellectual property. Okay, that's a whole nother video. Go over there and watch that. I'm not going to get into that here. But do know that as you're moving as a part of the soil, there are a lot of grifters who want to grift off of reparations while not doing any of the work, that want to impede on the work we're doing. They want to undermine the work we're doing. When I was at the town hall, I didn't see these troublemakers there. None of the congressional legislative black caucuses out here in California showed up. Nobody from hashtag ADOS, who is in bed with Isaac Bryan of that congressional legislative black caucus, they weren't there. Antonio Moore was not there. So, folks love to take the credit. They love to lead out front and be the face, but they're not in the soil coming up with the links and the bus rides up to Sacramento and feeding the people as they teach them about the bills. None of them are there. But they want to disparage and undermine and get in bed with the folks who are trying to undo us here. All the way from Atlanta, Georgia. So watch that video and become very informed. Anywho, back to the text. So, okay, so he goes on to say, and peep how we're gaining all this ground in our fight for equality and reparations for slavery without surrendering our power to any political parties. We're bringing the change ourselves. Democrats won't even use the word reparations. They pretend it's a concept that's too difficult for them to understand or begin to address when it comes to Black people. And why this is important, family, is because this is exactly what the contemporary grassroots reparations movement did here in California. When the congressional legislative Black caucuses ran interference and wouldn't even bring their own bills, which is our bills, to the floor, Bill Asaley, a whole Republican, got involved and said he would quarterback the AB 1315 so that we can establish an Office of American Freedmen Affairs here in California. Understand that reparations is a nonpartisan issue. You need to EQ out a tangible from whomever's running, because as people disparage those of us who voted for Trump, we only had two options, bad and worse. And this time Trump was the lesser of two evils. Because we understand that immigration, both legal, which needs a moratorium, and illegal, crushes us. It's crushing to the Negro, who's already been made bottom caste. I'm not talking about the 20% of us that are doing okay. I'm talking about the 80% who's not, who doesn't have education. And they're now in competition for jobs which wages have been suppressed because the Demonrats and the Rhino Republicans alike are bringing in all this illegals and dropping them into our community to be cared for with our tax dollars until they become more American while we become extinct. It's economic genocide. Back to the text. So yes, Shon Daniels, clearly he's, been listening to, this was from July 20. This is July 26. I don't know the year here. I posted it on March the 10th. But yes, this is the way we got to get it done, because we're outgunned and we're outmoneyed. We got to weaponize our vote, family, and socialize our suffering. Let's keep going. Practically at 8:30. Lord, today. Oh. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. What's this? So now the Democrats are attacking my law practice by leaving 1-star reviews. I hate that Google allows stuff like this. So they're coming for him, family, because he's for the nuclear Black family. He goes from 51 4.2s, now he's got a 1-star. Clifton Dykes and Carrie Lee, whatever. That's got 400,500 views. March the 8th. This is what they're doing, coming for the man's practice, trying to take him out. That's how sleazy the Demonrats are. Sleazy. Thieves, liars. Let's keep going. So he's shouting out Jasmine Crockett. Why would Randy Best, a 73-year-old unemployed person, give you $16,240 in campaign contributions in 2024? That's got 1.1 million views because this is who the Demonrats are. Let's keep going. Still, they're liars, they're thieves. They're the very thing that they accuse and try to displace on Trump as. They are the very thing they accuse him of. They are the pot calling the kettle black. Let's keep going. Meet Shon Daniels, who's running in Texas 30 to unseat radical Jasmine Crockett. The media is ignoring his candidacy. So you folks know exactly what to do. We're the media now. We need Texas to vote her out. Now, that goes to my earlier point. The revolution is being social mediaized. And we are the ones that got busy in the social media spaces to bring reparations to the debate stage when Joe Crow was running and Kamala was running. She literally had to drop out of that presidential race because she was fourth in her own state of California. We got rid of her. And that's what we did to get Trump in power. Just having rooms and me doing, I don't know that I did lives. Well, I think I may have done a few, but I was mostly blogging my protest voter strategy in TikTok, on Facebook, on Screw2. There's a place to post called The Community. On X, every day like a second job. From the time the Demonrats weaponized the pandemic to steal the 2020 election, allegedly, in my opinion. I voted against a bill to limit fentanyl trafficking. You're welcome. Yeah, she sure did. It's exhausting, but the work must be done. And I'm so grateful to God for social media to be able to undo these people and to get them out of office to the best of my ability. Folks don't want to listen? Okay, they don't have to, but you're going to F around and find out like you've been doing all over the country. Not listening to me. Hold on, family. What is this one? Okay, we did that one already. Hold on. Let me stop sharing that. Okay, stand by. We did that one. We did that one. Okay. So allegedly, mark your calendars, bet you her heifer butt won't show, says community Punky's Mimi. I don't know what that means. Punky's meme. Okay. So there's supposed to be a live debate. Mark y'all's calendars on X, April 15th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. No excuses, no script, just facts. Will Jasmine show up? Well, we're going to show up and find out. Why is it the people who constantly talk about slavery and reparations are always trying to enslave others? Let's stop sharing that and get into, hold on, family. I want to get into his campaign. Close down some of these windows. Okay, let me share my screen and we're going to go through his site. Okay. Shon Daniels for Congress. Empower, Unite, Deliver. This looks like his wife. They have a daughter. They look like a nuclear black family. Make common sense cool again. Amen to that. Vote Shon Daniels for U.S. Representative, Texas District 30. Lower taxes, secure borders, government transparency. Pledge to vote, volunteer, donate. Help us send Jasmine Crockett packing. Okay, we went over all the reasons why. There's a way to volunteer. I'm just trying to look at what his offerings are. Interesting. Let me see. Shon's story. Meet Shon Daniels, fighting for the future of North Texas. A native North Texan, Shon Daniels was born and raised in North Texas, where he experienced firsthand the challenges and triumphs of everyday families. Growing up in a single-parent household with his mother and younger sister, Shon learned the importance of perseverance and community. His mother, who had him at 19, worked tirelessly to provide for her children. They lived in government housing projects until they were able to move into their first home through the HUD program, a moment that cemented Shon's belief in the power of opportunity and hard work. These early experiences instilled in him a deep commitment to improving the lives of others. From graduating from the University of Texas at Dallas with a political science degree to earning his law degree at Texas Southern University's Thurgood Marshall School of Law, Shon has carried his North Texas roots and values with him every step of the way. Husband and father. At the heart of Shon Daniels' life is his family. As a proud husband and father, Shon understands the hopes and challenges faced by parents striving to provide a better future for their children. Me speaking. And when you're not a parent or you're not a wife, and especially if you don't have a nuclear Negro family, then you crash out like Crockett. Because you don't understand what it's like to fight for Negroes to flourish unless you've walked in our shoes. She doesn't know this fight. She comes from privilege. I like his story already. As a single mom myself, I can relate to his story. And what his mother did at 19 to bring him to the place such as now. It's a beautiful thing to behold. And it shows you the resilience and the fortitude of the Negro, who has always pulled themselves up by their by their bootless straps. This is who we are. So he's sounding like one of us already. I don't know, but this is the kind of work you've got to do to figure out who these people are when they haven't gone through Google to scrub who they are, because that's what many of them are doing while cosplaying us to the shame and embarrassment of the Negro collective, which is why I've got to be here on a Sunday night with y'all, dispelling the dumb. And thank you for being here. Let's continue. Yet, as a Black father, Sheldon sees unique challenges in combating the harmful narratives often perpetuated by the lamestream media. Me speaking lamestream. I'll throw in my own special nicknames for things, okay? You can go here and read it straight away. But when you hear certain things like that, that's me. I'm going to try to read it straight in the namesake of time. Often perpetuated by the mainstream media and entertainment industry. I got a whole video of me speaking coming up next week, dealing with the demonic nature of the entertainment and the music industries. I've been mourning the loss of Angie Stone and her story, but there's too many of us to count. And so I totally agree with him. The lamestream and lamestream media in the entertainment industry are working collectively to undermine and to destroy the Negro. They're weaponizing those industries against us, those industries that we even made relevant. It wasn't even exciting until we started doing our thing. And now you see them trying to replace and erase us in those industries with melanated immigrants who are playing us. You can't learn the Negro better than the Negro knows itself, because your Stanislavskis and your Uda Hagens can't teach you this. So, I do believe that's coming up on next Sunday. Excuse me, guys. Let me take a sip. Talking too much. My throat's getting dry. But he's absolutely correct. It is designed to destroy the Negro, like abortion, like LGBTQ, like transgender. I don't give a damn who you screw. It shouldn't be something that you tether to the Black experience, to the Negro experience, as if they're one and the same, to constitute giving LGBTQ, which is predominantly white, akin to DEI, which is predominantly white, to give our reparations and protections to these groups in the name of the Negro Holocaust. He is tired of seeing Black youth encouraged to idolize a culture of drugs, violence, and criminality. A narrative that glorifies degeneracy instead of celebrating dignity, achievement, and empowerment. Sheldon believes Black communities must reclaim their stories and push back against harmful portrayals in music and in film, just as other communities have done. He is committed to pressuring the entertainment industry to change these narratives for the sake of future generations, because we're not going to make it like this. We're not going to make it if there's a war between the Black man and the Black woman, as all these other races of women are lifted up over the Black woman, the Negro woman. How do we continue the lineage if we don't see that Negro love is revolutionary? And teach it to our children. We will die out in a sea of BIPOC and biracials who have white mamas, where the wealth of the Negro is going back into white hands when they either get divorced or he transitions. That's a whole nother video that I'm going to be bringing. We've got to get back to the Negro love if we want our line to flourish in the country our ancestors built with their very lives. Negro love is revolutionary. It's a missile. And we need to get back to it. Because when we had it, we were flourishing. Sheldon also stands firmly against the attacks on the Black heterosexual nuclear family and the degradation of traditional masculinity under terms like toxic masculinity. Because these crackers won't be satisfied until every Black man in this country, every Negro man is in a dress. And that's what the niggerate Negro keeps showing up to vote for Demonrat. That our boys become girls. Get sex change operations before they are even old enough to know what sex is. He believes in celebrating the strength and the leadership of fathers and the importance of family in building strong communities. Beautiful. I wish I was down there to cast a vote, but I'm doing my part. Army veteran. Sheldon answered the call to serve his country by enlisting in the United States Army at 18 years old as a communications specialist. In this role, he honed his technical expertise, discipline, and commitment to teamwork. His service gave him a profound respect for the sacrifices required to defend freedom and shaped his understanding of leadership as service to others. These principles continue to guide him today, whether in his legal practice or his commitment to serving the people of North Texas. Public service and criminal defense. After earning his law degree, Shon Daniels dedicated himself to public service as a criminal defense attorney. Since 2014, he has represented individuals facing difficult circumstances, ensuring they receive fair representation and a second chance at life. Sheldon also works as a small business consultant, helping entrepreneurs navigate challenges and achieve success. His career reflects a deep commitment to justice, accountability, and empowering individuals to overcome obstacles and thrive. You see, what the Demonrats do is they've got their plants like Crash Out Crockett. You can't find nothing on her like this. And that's why you got to get to the place in your politics when you see the Demonrats before it, you must be abjectly opposed. If they oppose it, it's better for you than they are. If you don't critically think on no other level, just use reasonable deduction. Everything they prescribed during that last campaign, down to I would do nothing fundamentally different than Joe Crow, is anti-Negro. That's a hit and a half for your ass to vote third party or just be about that life and vote Trump. But voting the couch, I abjectly oppose. A real representative, not a politician. Shon Daniels isn't a career politician. He's a fighter for the people of North Texas, unlike his opponent who follows the Demonrat Party, the Democratic Party's rank and file playbook. Sheldon believes in prioritizing constituents over party loyalty, while others grandstand for the cameras and play international political theatrics. Sheldon is focused on delivering results for the people of District 30. As a student of American politics, Sheldon draws inspiration from historical leaders like Charles Sumner, Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King Jr., and Malcolm X. Leaders who fought for liberty and dignity through principle and action. Sheldon admires the courage of figures like William Steele, John F. Kennedy, and Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, whose work and words pushed America closer to its ideals. His mission is to bring the same integrity and commitment to real change in Washington. Quote, I'm not running to be a politician. I'm running to be a representative who listens, leads, and delivers for the people of North Texas. Together, we can reclaim our voice, restore our values, and secure a brighter future for our community. Class of 2014, Doctor of Jurisprudence, Thurgood Marshall School of Law. During my time at Thurgood Marshall School of Law, I faced many challenges, but they ultimately made me stronger. As a founder of the Civil Rights Law Society and an active member of the Collegiate 100 Black Men of America, I had the opportunity to work with like-minded individuals to effect change and to make a positive impact in our community. Despite the difficulties, I enjoyed the experience, and I'm proud to have earned my Juris Doctor degree. Class of 2010, Bachelor of Arts, University of Texas at Dallas. While studying at UT Dallas, I focused my academic pursuits on economic, political, and policy sciences. Along the way, I was able to pursue my passion for music as a DJ and also became an active member of the John Marshall Pre-Law Society. Overall, I am grateful for the opportunities I had to learn and grow, both academically and personally, and I look forward to continuing to apply the lessons I learned during my time there to my future endeavors. Sign his petitions, volunteer, donate. I'll share this site. Let me just share this site for y'all to donate. We got to do it, fam. Even if you don't live there, I was donating to Marcel's campaign. I will be donating to this brother's campaign. Yes, I will. And you need to do the same. It takes money to run for office. I'm sharing that link in the chat. Let me go back and let's see what his policies are. And then I'll come to the Q&A and pray us out. Platform. Putting people first, not politics. Welcome to my campaign for a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. I'm running to be your voice in Congress, not the voice of party insiders, career politicians, or special interests. I'm running to fight for the people of North Texas, those who feel unheard, underserved, and fed up with the status quo. I'm going to jump down. So he's got economic reform, abolish the accredited investor rule, congressional salary tied to median income, corporate accountability tax. In the namesake of time, I'm not going to read through all of this, okay? Because I've already kept you guys close to 2.5 hours. Deficit Accountability Act. Anytime there's a deficit of more than 5% of GDP, all sitting members of Congress are ineligible for re-election. He's looking for term limit amendments. Limit senators to 2 terms, 12 years, and representatives to 3 terms, 6 years, to ensure fresh perspectives in Congress. He's got health and education. Transparency Act in healthcare. Transparency in the Healthcare Act require all medical providers to publicly post prices for services to encourage competition and lower cost. Universal Skills-Based Education Act, overhaul K through 12 education to include mandatory life skills and financial literacy training alongside core subjects. Definitely for that. The financially illiterate just becomes low credit scores and strung out on credit, which is how they conflate how much money we've got to spend on nonsense. I've already shared y'all of the hundreds of trillions of dollars whites and immigrants have stolen and share between them. We share $3 trillion. And of that $3 trillion, 14% benefit. They hold $2 trillion. Wait. $2,930,000,000. Wait, how do I say that? Forgive me, y'all. I'm a little tired. So my synapses are not firing off the way they were earlier. Of the $3 trillion we collectively share as Black and melanated immigrants in this country, $2.93 trillion is shared by 14%. Mostly melanated immigrants share in $2.93 trillion. Mostly Negro, freedmen, descendants of the emancipated, share in less than $700 billion since COVID. So they don't like to talk about those figures and how the melanated immigrant has money when they come to this country and they are given position over us. That's why I wanted to find that Jasmine Crockett link, and I'm going to find it because I've got to memorialize it here. That'll be the last thing I share. I want to show that video because I want to speak to this nonsense she's talking about. Yeah, let's keep going. This is what happens when I'm only here once a week, family. We got to go until we're finished, until I'm full. Election reform, Voter Confidence Act, require publicly audited elections and make all ballots hand counted in public view to ensure election integrity. Yes. Campaign finance overhaul, allow for publicly funded campaigns and ban all corporate and PAC donations. Oh yes, I love his platform. This is not hard. I'm going to go back to the top and read the one I left out. I thought it was going to be long-winded, but it's not. I love it. It's buttoned down. I like these bite-sized bits to help us to get a broad overview of what he stands for. National Security and Infrastructure, American Workforce First Act, ban work visas in fields where qualified Americans are actively seeking employment. I wish he said well, Trump has already made English the standard in this country. We'll see how that impacts the corporations from requiring and demanding that we know Spanish even just to get a job interview. And even when you speak it as fluently as Pedro, you don't have the complexion for hire. Infrastructure Accountability Act, require quarterly public updates on all federally funded infrastructure projects to ensure transparency and completion timelines. Yes. Social and cultural reform, Community Reinvestment Act 2.0, redirect federal subsidies from massive corporations to small businesses and locally led nonprofits. Education Freedom Act, ensure that federal funds follow students to any public, private, or charter school or of their choice. Yes, that's what I'm for. Down with the Department of Education. Media Accountability Act, limit ownership of media outlets by any single corporation to ensure diverse perspectives. Yes. Anti-corruption measures. Lobbyist ban. Ban members of Congress from becoming lobbyists for 10 years after leaving office. Insider Trading Accountability Act. Hello, Nancy Pelosi. Ban all stock trading by sitting members of Congress and their immediate families. Yes. Economic reform, Abolish the accredited investor rule. Open up the best investment opportunities to everyday people, not just the ultra wealthy. Going back to the top, y'all. Congressional salary tied to median income. Peg congressional salaries to the national median income, incentivizing lawmakers to work for economic growth for all Americans. Corporate accountability tax. Impose higher taxes on companies that outsource jobs overseas and provide tax breaks to companies hiring locally. Yes. Government accountability. Oh, I did that one. Okay. So let me stop sharing that. And let me try to find, I'm going to find, not try to. I want to find this last X file to share with you all. Jasmine Crockett. And then I'll come to the chat because the co-hosts have been busy. And we want to read and I want to respond to what you are sharing. Just a second. It's buried in my Gmail, so I've got to go to my X files and find it real quick. Okay. And then I'll move it. Here we go. This is it. It'll be at the top of my Gmail. There's so much stuff crammed over there that it would take me all night to find it. Okay. So stand by. Let me share this last video and then I'll read the comments and then I'll pray us out. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. Hold on, family. I found it here. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. This is how you weaponize your vote, family. Take note. We got to do this to every last one of them. Find the one that's best for the Negro. And back our way up off this bottom and trade places with these other groups that deserve to be there. Capitalism requires a bottom caste. I decided, along with the rest of us in the contemporary grassroots reparations movement, that we're done with the bottom. We've been doing it for far too long, and we're weaponizing social media to get up off the bottom and our dollars to help support candidates who are speaking our language. I will be setting up recurring payments to Mr. Daniels, and I'm all the way in California. Can't cast a vote, but I love his platform. He will get recurring payments, and they don't have to be. Let me tell you something. Bernie Sanders built his whole movement. I think it was on the average donation of $15 or something ridiculously small. But we've got to help support the candidates who are speaking our language, who are representing us, where we can be American and we can be prioritized, and we can make America great for the very first time for the Negro. Okay, let me share my screen.
So the reality is
Hold
that
on, guys. Let me back. I'm going to be pausing to make my commentary.
How many of you are sending your kids to college to go and work on them? Okay, well, guess who is working the farms? So that you can afford your food. So that you can have food. So that
You see this nonsense? We were the farmers. We own farmland. They've stolen all of it. We were the ones that taught them how to grow crops. Our ancestors built this country with their very lives. They were the ones that had all of the intellect to farm. They brought that to this country. They slaved this land. They were farmers. They owned their farms. You see the farmers still fighting for repair from all of the land that was stolen from them. But Crash Out Crockett ain't going to tell you that. She's going to sit here and pretend that the only jobs that these immigrants are taking are the farms and things that they claim that we don't want to do that we've always done. Who did it before they came here? We did. Who did all these jobs before they came? It was just us and the antebellum whites and the Ellis Island whites up until the 65 or 68 Immigration Act. And then there was a process. So it wasn't dumped on us to our detriment. But we did this. Let's keep going in the namesake of time.
Now, how many of you are looking to send your kids into hospitality after this college education so that they can go and make the beds at the hotels?
Now, see, this is the niggerance I'm talking about. When you're dealing with the fact that only 20% of our electorate is college degreed, and even they are struggling to get jobs that are paying an American wage. We were the ones doing that before they flood this country with legal and illegal immigrants. That's someone's black job that they fed their families with, that now they're told you've got to speak Spanish in order to get an interview, to discriminate against you, to put themselves in that position. While our collective that is non-degreed winds up sleeping in their cars, winds up getting evicted. And so when you send your children to college, no, they're not the ones that's going to make up the beds. But guess what? These immigrants are also taking corporate jobs. I have shared with y'all a number of times that they literally came through the California Wells Fargo and they wiped out all the Negroes and replaced us with immigrants from the teller all the way up and through the corporate executive levels. I've told y'all that in the state of California, I am the only one working in my territory. I'm the only Negro. I've shared with y'all about my colleagues who got looked over. They were far more degreed. They had law degrees, they had undergraduate degrees, they had master's degrees, and they had oogles of years of experience in the industry. And when it's time for promotion, they'll bring in a snot-nosed Becky who don't have a fraction of the education, don't have a fraction of the experience, and march her right over top the Negro with all of it. And so they're gaslighting and lying to you. And then want to get their pennies in a bunch when Trump says they're taking all the black jobs. Because all of it was us. Until the Demonrat and the Rhino Repugnant Klan's nefarious plans to erase and replace the Negro with mass immigration and illegal immigration. With our reparations, our taxes, and our Social Security. Let's continue.
How many of you are planning to send your kids to college? Because that's what we do here. We send everybody to college. How many of you are planning?
No, we don't. Melanated immigrants, I just showed y'all, are outperforming us by design of economic genocide. They're put into position to make the salaries that they will not hire us to earn. Which means they can afford to educate their children at our HBCUs while our children's families get strung out on student loan debt to afford them an HBCU experience. Then they bring crash test dummies like Jasmine Crockett's ilk on that campus to search for her ilk, to try to influence and ostracize the children like mine who couldn't even say she voted for Trump. They were hounding her every day. She's from out of state. She kept telling them, get up off my neck with this My mother is smelling my ballot. I can't vote in your elections. I'm not from here. They hounded her for LGBTQ and for immigrants that are on that campus. So the likes of the Jews and the LGBTQ and the Demonrats are on our campuses, brainwashing our children to vote against their own interest. That's what's happening at the HBCU, and that's been going on forever. If it wasn't for my daughter being reared in my advocacy, being reared in the fact that I know my history because my father taught it to me and I taught it to her. She used to just take it all in while I'd be on these lives. Because the likes of her is ostracized and treated like a cancer for not moving with the Demonrat groupthink on her campus. She can't talk about it. If she's got me on speaker, she's got to announce that I'm on speaker. Please don't speak on Trump. And I know what she goes through because I'm ostracized in certain circles for being pro-life, pro-Negro life specifically, for being against transgender. You can do whatever the hell you want, but it shouldn't be a case for you to get what civilly do me and my people. Screw who you want, change your body all you want, but this should not be fed to our children in the schools. They shouldn't have to be looking at the Muppets and see folks transforming into another sex. They know nothing about that as babies. But that's the sick pedophilia being indoctrinating our children in the public school education system that wants to take spirit out and put in their own agendas on our children. Because if that girls are sexing girls and boys are sexing boys, it's the end of the line for the Negro because we ain't sexing each other to make babies. We're not marrying each other to make babies. And so the majority of us, unless we get strung out on debt, which we really cannot afford to pay back, we can't educate our children at a place where they can see themselves. And you still got to have a stronghold on your children's mind so they don't walk the way of the Demonrat agenda for their economic genocide and replacement in this country of our ancestors. And we've got nowhere else to go. This is it. And y'all better fight like hell to hold on to it, because where are you going and with what? Keep going.
And send your kids to college so that they can then go and build these houses. So the reality is that so long as we live in a capitalist,
the people that were building these houses were our incarcerated. That was the way that they were able to get work at one time, was to go and build. But the public school education purposely, because we were advancing in the trades, they removed it from the schools. They removed home economics, which taught the young Black girls how to care for a husband and family and themselves. They removed it from the public school education. That's what I grew up on. They tore down the systems. My school is it no longer stands where I'm from. But that's where I was able as a freshman to choose several majors that piqued my interest. By sophomore year, I had to select a major. And once I select a major, which was business, I was privileged to work at 15 years old. My very first, I had a job in the Upper Bound program at 13 and 14. At 13, I was on the radio of the college campus where I attend Upper Bound. By 14, I was director, playwright, and produced a stage play called From Rags to Riches with the all-Negro cast funded by the college where I attended, Upward Bound, but they put me in charge of writing the play. They put me in charge of casting the play and directing the play, and they produced it. By 15, I was working in insurance and benefits for General Motors. And I went to school 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, working in the offices of General Motors at 15 for 11 months out of the year. As a business major, I had to be suited and booted even in school, in my business courses, and even when I went to my job. 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. They destroyed it, tore the school down. That's what the Department of Education has done to render our children ready for the preschool to prison pipeline, as I see nigger and Negroes crying to cleave to it when School of Choice would put those public school dollars in your hands to educate your children where you damn well please for them to get a proper education. With the black vote, no less. And the black tears.
Society, there's always going to be someone or a group of people that will do work that some of the rest of y'all don't want to do. These are the people that are really making us great in this country.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? She is literally sitting up here running that same tired ass play that they're willing to do the jobs that we just did before they rushed the company with the legals. In the blackest of communities in California, you don't even see our children in banking. They're not doing the telework. They're not doing the grocery work. They're not doing the retail work. They're not doing the restaurant work. It's a total blackout for our children that used to do those jobs, which is now Little Mexico. And this crash test dummy for the Demonrats is sitting up here lying that we don't want to do these jobs when these are the very jobs that help to give us the experience we need, that they constantly tell us we don't have to hire us for bullshit jobs. Because the kids can't get hired. Let's hear that again.
These are the people that are really making us great in this country.
Immigrants are making us great in this country, she says. Representing us, saying that immigrants have made us great in this country. Not those of us who descend from the emancipated. If you are not enraged, if you are not outraged and enraged and ready to help make this video go viral, then you clearly hate yourself. You clearly despise your children, your grandchildren. You hate the Negro. Let's go to the comments and then I'll pray us out. Thank you for enduring almost a 3-hour me raving and ranting. I'm just going to read through the pertinence and say hello to the family that I haven't said hello to. We want our 13th and 14th Amendment back. Ending birthright citizenship for everyone but us is big for us. Absolutely true. And that's the biggest thing I would like for Trump to consider. Let's not try to get rid of the 14th. Let's just clearly specify and reiterate who it's for and not allow anybody else to tether themselves to it. Michael Pan says the substitute teacher should be charged for negligence. I agree, Michael. Thank you for your submission. Yes, the substitute teacher, I hope they sue Jehu Middle School to the point that they own it. That's what I pray for. Everybody needs to be sued for what happened to that young sister, that young black girl. Everybody needs to catch a case because they hid it. If the student had not recorded it, we'd be none the wiser. Our kids are being traumatized throughout the country in the same way. It's just not caught on tape. They probably confiscate the children's phones so they can't record the tortures that are going on. We cannot learn in these types of environments. Hi, Jay Wonder. Welcome to the live, Martin Norwood. The reparationist perspective, I agree with you 100% on cash payment reparations for Black American freedmen of chattel slavery, enforced anti-Black hate crime bill, and removal of qualified immunity. Thank you, Michael. He's one of our staunchest comrades fighting for and with us. He's always emailing and staying on top of it and joining us here to learn what's going on. And I appreciate all allies. Thank you. Why did he do it, says Michael Pan. Okay, guys, I'm going back to the top of the show, okay? Where I talked about, and if you just got here, you have to go back and see what I was discussing about this huge-ass immigrant. I think he's illegal. He looks 18 in the middle school. How he slammed and tossed around a young black girl a third of his size and slammed her head on her desk until she fell out in a temporary concussion onto the ground. And Michael's asking, I'm going back to the top, so he's asking, why did he do it? We don't have an explanation. And we've been calling and blowing up the phones, of which I continue to implore upon you to do. I put the mayor's number in the X files. You can look me up at TRPTV_1 and get all the numbers you need. I call ICE. Well, actually, I email ICE. I couldn't get through. Didn't have time for that. You're to call and to email, especially for those of you who are seniors and have time on your hands. But even if you are working, you need to make it a point to take a lunch break and to actually go over there and to call those numbers and to email. It's all in the thread. It's about 200,000 views and counting. But you guys need to go pick up that information because this doesn't stop until we stop it. It's on us to protect our children. And although she's not my birth daughter, all I could do was envision if this had happened to my daughter. Let's just say, power tools. We would not have to wait to see justice if that had happened to my daughter. So we don't know the why. When I called the district attorney's office, they said that because they're minors, they can't give us a lot of information. That boy don't look like no minor to me. He looks like an 18-year-old illegal in a middle school. And the most I could deduce is that this is a type of racist hate that is now Crayola with 3 Ks. This is the hate. We have no friends in this country. I know we've got a few allies like yourself, Michael, and I thank the allies. But we are the most hated because of our beauty and our brilliance and our talent. They ain't us. Damn are not like us. They ain't us. And so what they do is get in bed with our oppressors in this country, the white ones, because they get to mark the box white, then they become white in their very core. And they know in this country to hate the Negro, to kill the Negro, to disparage the Negro, to spit on the Negro, to disrespect the Negro means their advancement. And that's why I thank each and every one of you who blew up those phones so much that J. Hugh Middle School took the phones off the hook. Keep calling anyway. Keep emailing. Because they literally don't want to be heard about, they don't want a hearing about this until April. But that girl was charged. And they want to say she's charged on the premise of unrecorded events that we don't get to see. And she's at a school where it's 91% them, 3%, 3.5%, 4% of Negroes or Black folks. I don't know if they're Negroes. But I don't even want this happening to melanated immigrants. Most immigrants, Michael says, are complicit with anti-Black racism, slavery, and white supremacy. Absolutely, Michael. And their excuse is, well, we don't know any better. That's what they teach us when we come through to get to become legal. We're taught to hate the Negro. But you don't need any type of education when it comes to taking our money in our communities where you're allowed to have businesses and we're denied business loans to hold businesses in our own communities. You sure can count our money. You can use critical thinking then. You can read how to market and get that money up off of Black folks because you're the only alternative in our communities that are being gentrified. But you don't know how to go pick up a history book and learn about the Negro plight in this country? You just choose to get in bed with wanton white supremacy because ain't nothing supreme about none of y'all racist. Gentrification, crime, unemployment, and displacement have disproportionately hurt Black Americans in California. Yes, it has, Michael. More facts. We have been legislated out of the state by these anti-Negro hating racists in California. It's at least on par with the racism in the South, but it has a liberal face. We're down from 17 to 3% in the state. And I'm trying to prevent this from happening to y'all because we don't have the money to pick up and go, and there ain't no place in the free world that you can go where you'll be treated as well as these immigrants have been treated with our reparations, taxes, and Social Security. They're not even doing this for you in the continent of Africa. They'll use you as a resource to build the continent akin to how we were used in this country. But then you're going to be hard-pressed to become a citizen and get land and get property and all this kind of stuff, please. And then you're going to have to deal with the anti-Negro hatred of the African who's jealous of you on the continent. Lots of us have been murdered. A lot of single women going over there trying to build a life. Look it up. I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm not just making it up. Murdered. Trying to have a better life in the continent of Africa than they do in this country. I'll be damned if my ancestors build the wealthiest country in the free world and I not benefit from that. And that's why we fight. Thank you, Friedman says, I'm definitely calling. My daughter is a student in the 9th grade in California. I take it personally. Absolutely. Thank you. Please get active. Michael says, Phil Scott said Black Americans need to homeschool their children or start their own schools because non-Black people are too complicit and racist with white supremacy. He's absolutely correct. But tragically, because we're unemployed and underemployed, we out here scratching and surviving. So many can't do the homeschool route. And then we're still beholden to the Demonrat plantation called the Department of Education. Hopefully, Trump will destroy it as he's starting to. But the judges and the courts are really interfering on him destroying some of these platforms that are designed to oppress the Negro and to keep us beggars in the country of our ancestors. They need school of choice. And all that money the Department of Ed is getting should go as a voucher to the parent to choose one of these schools where their children can receive a proper education. Because it's working in states that have school choice. Okay, so Michael says, I did sign petitions for your people to get reparations in California. Thank you, Michael. Let me share that link as well. There are 3 petitions over here. Let me share it with you guys. Just a second. Guys and dolls. CJAC official. Okay. So I'm going to show you this because there's 3 over here right now that you need to be about that life and helping us out. 3 times a day would be great, but at least daily, if you can fill in each of these 3 measures, and everything's there for you. Everything is there for you. Let me show you. Share my screen. So, this is CJAC official, led by this brother here, Chris Lodgson. He is a former co-founder of the ADOS movement, putting in serious work. And so their site is cjac-official.org. I'm going to copy and paste the link for you guys to go here, but I want to show you how there's 3 measures. Hold on one second. Okay, I need to do mine for today, so I'll show you and walk you through how it's done. Okay, you share that. So I put the link in the chat. Now let's go through here. Now, donations. This brother must have bought 100 pizzas for the that we just had on Saturday. Okay. They need money to feed the people, to pay for the spaces, to hold our town halls. They need money to get buses for us to travel from Southern California to Northern California to the state capitol in Sacramento. That is what this looks like here. This picture looks like them up in the state capitol. Yep, that is absolutely where they are. And what they do is they split up as teams and they go to different representatives' offices to push the reparations bills that are ours. Because what they're doing now is new scum, as I call him, and the Congressional Legislative Black Caucuses are coming up with their own bills instead of honoring the bills that the Congressional Legislative Black Caucuses have already approved. They don't like our bills because it gets us up off the California Titanic. So they're coming up with BS bills and they're stealing from our bills to uplift immigrants and refugees. So I started donating. Any amount is fine, but I put my donations on recurring. Okay? So you could get involved. Here's the bills. Take action. You see this button right here? Let's go through it together. Now you could be anywhere from in the country. It doesn't matter. We need all hands on deck like we did with lineage-based reparations and our task force. So here's the first call to action. Contact California lawmakers. Tell them, introduce and support California reparations and reparative justice bills ASAP. Act now. Let me show you how easy it is. This is my one today. So far, thank you guys. We've got, our goal is 25,600. So far, 19,557 letters have been sent. Thank you for heeding my calls to take action. I appreciate you more than I have words to convey. So let me put my stuff here. Email. The rep respect at Gmail. I'm gonna use a different zip code I don't want people knowing what my zip code is. Okay. So start writing. So look at this. Read the script, then click, and every California lawmaker will hear your voice. California Reparations 2025, Lineage Matters. Welcome back, Angela, because I come over here daily. So here are all the senior staff. And this is the letter. They already made it so easy for you. The subject line is California American Freedmen Reparations and Reparative Justice Bills 2025 support. Hello, I'm contacting you because I want your office to introduce and or support the following bill proposals and policies ASAP this year. Thank you for your time and attention. Specifically, bill proposals and policies that, number one, establish a dedicated state agency, the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency, to help residents verify and confirm their status as descendants of people who were emancipated from chattel slavery in the U.S., American freedmen. I'm only going to 10 o'clock, guys, okay? I'm getting tired. Number two, create a fund account within the state treasury to support and help coordinate current and future funding for policies targeted to American freedmen residents, including but not limited to reparations and reparative justice policies. Number three, establish a guaranteed income, direct monetary payments program prioritizing American freedmen senior residents age 60 and over. Number four, 2025-26 budget funding for the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. At least 5 years of funding is what we're demanding, as well as funding for a program of direct monetary payments, guaranteed income for American freedmen senior residents age 60 and over. Number five, direct the existing $12 million reparations budget allocation contained in 23-24 budget to fund the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency, as well as a direct monetary payments guaranteed income program prioritizing American freedmen senior residents age 60 and over. Let me talk about this $12 million. They literally, the Congressional Legislative Black Caucuses and the Pan-African nonprofits want $6 million of the measly $12 million we secured to line their own pockets while doing nothing for the Negro. Let's continue. Number six, provide for the return of or just compensation for unjust state-sanctioned takings of property owned by American freedmen residents, such as those takings executed through improper use of eminent domain, happened all over the country, including our farmlands. Provide for direct housing, home ownership, financial assistance for American freedmen residents to purchase their first home. Provide for tax rebate payments to American freedmen residents who own or rent property in California. Send a letter. Boom. You ain't got to write the letter. You ain't got to write the emails. But we come over here several times a day and we get it in. And there are 2 more calls to action, so that's not the only one. And you can share it through Facebook, and you can tweet, or you can copy the link and send it to your friends direct. You can email a friend. They got it all figured out here for you. And let's go back to the beginning, because I don't see here's the actions. I think I need to go back because this doesn't look like what I did before. Let's go back here. I'm going to just back arrow to take us back to the home and then go back and visit the others too. Oh, well, maybe I can't do it that way. Hold on, guys and dolls. Actions. Interesting. Let's go back. Let's see if we can go home. Okay. Let's go back again. Okay. This is the one I wanted. So let's go. Here's a second one. I'm not going to go through all of these in the namesake of time, okay? So this call to action is contact Governor Newsom and California budget committees. Tell them to fund reparations in the 2025 state budget. Spend last year's reparations funding, which hasn't been spent, to implement reparations. Well, about $500,000 of it has been spent on a BS plaque of apology that has not even manifested. So they're tipping into that money over BS, symbolism. Damn an apology, fund the bank accounts out here. Stop reparations funds from going to any nonprofit organizations. So we need you to sign that one. It's the same kind of deal, but it's specific to this particular act. And the last one that we've got so far, upcoming the 25th and 26th, we'll be back in Sacramento. Not me, CJEC and them. I'll be at work, but I'll be calling in and doing everything I can. But we're fighting for our seniors to get this UBI, that they be first in line and that they get a bigger share of the UBI that they're trying to give to immigrants and refugees out here in Little Mexico. Cut the checks. Contact the California Assembly Human Services Budget Committee. Tell them to put guaranteed income, unrestricted direct cash payments for American freedmen seniors first in the 25 budget bill. It's just that easy, family. And I shared the link in the chat, okay? I'm going to stop sharing that. Hi, Yaira. Correct. Michael says Hispanic administrators and educators are not that different from Becky nor Brad. Yeah. It's not just them. Sometimes it be our own people, Michael. Replacing the Congressional Black Caucus with the Black American Freedmen Caucus. Yes, we do need our own caucus. But in the meantime, we need to unseat the immigrants running the Congressional Black Caucus. We must do that. And akin to what I just showed you, how to weaponize your vote in this video tonight, this broadcast. I've showed you what you must do with all of them. Find someone that is speaking your language and donate and make calls. Like, I can easily be a volunteer and will more than likely become a volunteer to help make calls for Sheldon to unseat Jasmine, because they've got the money behind Jasmine. She's their crash test dummy. So they're putting everything into her to defeat Sheldon for the obvious reasons. No, she's not, Michael. She's not about America. Friedman says, funny thing is, I went to elementary and middle school in California, and I was bullied by teachers and students. The rest of the world late to what's coming to the rest of the country. Oh, yes, it's already here, Friedman. It's already here. It's happening in other states. And I my deepest, sincerest regret that you had to suffer that. My daughter was educated out here. She didn't have to suffer that. So I apologize deeply on their niggerant behalf, okay? Woodup says, Jasmine Crash Out Crockett doesn't even sound intelligent. Well, C. Miles is asking, what does intelligence sound like? Woodup got smart with him. Oh, Lord. Okay, y'all throwing chairs. Well, basically, intelligence sounds like not needing to say F off, and Trump is Elon Musk whole. Like, she sounded very ratchet and very ghetto. That's what Woodup means. Yeah, let's not talk about each other's mom. My mom is deceased as well. I don't want us traumatizing each other in this space. Let's show love. We don't get that a lot. Let this channel be about loving on each other and loving each other up to our true identity as the face of God, the voice of God, and the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. Let's treat each other from the truth of who we are. And not, we don't need that. We don't need to traumatize each other. We got enough of that in the world. Let's be loving to each other, especially in my space. I don't like that. You see, C. Miles, this is a problem with our people. C. Miles says, let's be fair. There's nothing fair about a politician. It's not about the millions they are having their pockets lined. Those millions, no matter how little millions or how big the millions are they're being paid to undermine and to economically genocide us. You're missing the point. To be focused on who makes more millions in the next is not the point at all of this video. It is to show you that a Demonrat crash test dummy has just said that she doesn't know what you will do with $5,000 if you don't have a job. That's the problem with the fact that she gets her pockets lined. She gets to live in a lap of luxury, wear $1,000 shoes and $500 belts, and talk down to our collective that she don't know what we would do with that $5,000. There's many things I could do with $5,000 right now. So that's the point. Not a pissing match between who gets papered up the most. We already know it's the white folks, the glacier donkeys, okay? I'm just going through for the pertinent comments. I'm not going through the little chair throwing. Okay, BB says that her bet is that crash test dummy Crockett is Belizean, Panamanian, or Caribbean. I think you're right, BB. I think you're correct. Just can't find it to say it for the truth. Once again, C. Miles, I'm not trying to have a pissing match over who's more racist than the other. I'm trying to open up our third eye, which is our first eye in the pineal gland, for us to understand that both parties suck for the Negro. This is about a protest vote. This is about the weaponization of our vote and the socialization of our suffering so that we're not the only ones in distress. And it's about opening our people's eyes to the fact that the Demonrats are no different than the repugnant clans. They're one and the same. Both operating to extinct the line, to extinct our justice claim. And to make sure we never get up off this bottom. So it's not about aid being given to Israel and Ukraine when Trump was in office the first time as well. That don't matter in this broadcast. I'm trying to open up people's minds to what's going on with the Demonrat Party because that's who our people, by and large, vote for the most to their own peril. Correct, BB. She is a useless idiot. And as soon as they're done using her as a tool, they'll break her too. Freeman says you can tell she's not FBA. Yep, I agree. Carolyn, good to see you, fam. Thank you for coming out to the town hall with your beautiful daughter. It was so great to see you in the flesh. Carolyn says there's a saying amongst the black media that when the white supremacist uses their tools, they dispose of them. Absolutely correct. I want to discuss this bill that the Republicans are putting against states honoring reparations, if it's valid or not, that they will stop federal monies coming to that state. I haven't looked into that a whole lot, Yaira, but I know what you're talking about. I'll try to factor it into. Could you send me a text on that? I'll research it. I don't know how they can do that, but you know, stranger things have happened. It doesn't mean that we're going to stop fighting for reparations. You see, some folks, you know, want to try to argue me and challenge me that we'll never get it. Well, please, family, understand that they told us the same thing prior to us fighting and winning our emancipation, that we would never be free. And here we are. So we must lean in and not listen to the negative Neds and Nancys to try to disparage us or to try to shame us into demanding what we are owed, while they continue to give what we are owed away to proxy wars and illegal immigrants and legal immigration, which also needs a moratorium. Yaira says she's going to search on Jasmine when she gets upstairs. Yeah, we would love to know. I don't know Crockett to be a Negro descendant last name in this country. I know Daniels to be, but remember, family, a lot of the Caribbeans have similar last names because, see, the Caribbean was just a stop along the transatlantic slave trade. Many of us were dropped off in the Caribbean and the rest were dropped off here. So we're going to share a lot of similarities in our names. But the spelling is slightly different. That's how you know the difference, okay? The spellings will be, for example, Yvette Clarke, who leads the Congressional Black Caucuses, she spells Clark with an E. The Negroes in this country don't spell Clark with an E. It's without the E on the end. So little things like that will give you some insight as to whether they descend from the emancipated here or if they're from Africa. It's pretty easy unless they're changing their names. But they look very different than us. But the Caribbean can sometimes mirror how we look, but sometimes the names will give it away that they're immigrant. Yes, Gwen XO, the Demonrats do suck, and they're trying to sell America out. But even the priority is to extinct the Negro in our justice claim. If elected to the House of Representatives, Shon Daniels would tax big corporations for outsourcing good-paying jobs to developing countries for cheap labor. Yes, I love that. I love it. We got to help him get elected. Gwen says, you hit the nail right there, Angela. And a bunch of freaks. Oh, yes. And they want to teach that to our children so that they can end the line. TRP, I did not know that you worked on the Bernie Sanders 2016 presidential campaign. What policies did you agree with him on? What other policies did you disagree with him on? Well, I don't recall all of his policies, but I knew that when I saw him in Racebook that he was speaking very different than the status quo Demonrat. That's been some time ago, and I've lost a lot of respect for Bernie because he allowed Crooked Hillary to steal the primary. Excuse me. And then he told us to go out here and vote for her. After exposing how crooked she was, in the end, he just laid down. He didn't help us fight in the courts when they took the monies we donated to him to give to her for her campaign. And then he got on the Russia train to try to say it was Russia who stole the election from Crooked Hillary to give it to Trump. So I lost so much respect for him, and especially when he said, when we questioned him about reparations, what is reparations? After he and his whole people get reparations that I am owed, that we are owed from this country who did not participate directly in their Holocaust, we continue to send billions to Israel. So they benefit from the reparations he dumbed down about when asked on the campaign trail about it. So I've lost so much respect for him that I don't even recall what he was running on, truthfully, at that time. He is literally in place for the Demonrats to run interference so third parties can't be successful. To try to run interference so third parties can't steal votes from the Demonrats. Because that's another way to defeat them. That's another way to give it to Trump, is to do a third party. You don't even have to vote for the Republicans. You could just vote a third party. But get to the polls, especially come midterms. Yep. BB says, oh, Lord, this stuff is getting small. Oh, Missouri is land of African immigrants. You're so funny. Yes, it's all over the country, fam. Actually, America is ranked almost last in education. Asia, Europe, and other countries beat America in math, science, etc. The problem is that property taxes fund about 80% of public education. Exactly, Michael. Exactly. And this is why it must go the way of the dodo bird. It's not serving us. It only is used as a weapon to justify bringing in H-1B visas. That's why I have no love lost over the Department of Education being destroyed. Let it go. It's not serving us. It's just making America dumber. He goes on to say TRP, Asia, Europe, and other countries don't have a school to prison pipeline. Well, we've got the most incarcerated in the whole world. To be as industrialized as we are, we have the highest rate of incarceration. And of those numbers, my people are incarcerated the most. That is by design, to economically genocide us. New York Mayor Adams is in cahoot with foreign governments. His city has a lot of homeless New Yorkers, even though they pay taxes to the city government all over the country, Michael. Kamala Harris created a Black American agenda at the last minute. She was not a good candidate to beat Donald Trump in the presidential election. Skamala was being Skamala, scamming the Negro to the polls over identity and respectability parlay tricks while offering nothing real tangible. Even in the weak policy she was trying to scramble in the 11th hour to offer us, it was a nothing burger. All it ever is from the Demonrats is symbolism. Nothing to truly make us whole. 16,000, that woman doesn't seem bothered about it at all, says C. Miles. No concern whatsoever. I don't know if the woman was white or Black, or if they actually did give the money or not. The husband wasn't home. She seemed to not know much about it. So I don't know. But I know firsthand how the Demonrats steal and lie, because I've worked the campaign. So I understand that part. So I wouldn't put it past them to be siphoning money. And the woman may simply not know. She might not handle the financial affairs of the family. This is why we need publicly funded elections, because privately funded elections don't have to be held accountable to the FEC, the Federal Elections Commission. And that's why they host them that way, Michael. Exactly. They want to hide how they're funding these candidates. They want to hide the fact that the corporations really own America, not we the people. What Black Americans are too experienced to be taken for a ride, period. What Up says, Democrats are not to be trusted ever again. That party is over. And I'm here to guarantee that they never rise again. And like I said earlier in the video, there will be casualties. You've got to brace for that. But the key here is to understand that we are at war, and the Demonrats have declared it on the Negro and been declaring it for as long as we've been voting for them. They use us to advance their own economic genocidal agendas against us. And when you make that correlation, you will understand that your vote is your return missile to make sure they never get control of the country again. And if Jasmine Crockett ain't doing anything else, she is making a case of why they are too thieving, too much of a liar to ever be able to run this country again. They cannot be trusted. And so in her tirades and her ghetto non-fabulousness, she is exposing the truth of the Demonrat Party. And so prayerfully, it will work to the advantage of the Negro to realize I am casting a protest vote to unseat the Demonrats who have betrayed the line. We have been their most loyal voter base. No other group in this country votes as loyally as the Negro once did prior to this last election cycle for the Demonrats. Boycott. I love that. St. Thomas 2009. I don't listen to the garbage. Oh, we're at 10 o'clock. Okay, family. I'm going to stop there and do my decree and declaration and then pray us out because the hour is late. This is a 3-hour, wait, I started at 6:30. 3.5 hour live. Oh, Lord. Okay, let me do my decree and declaration. I want to, in closing, before I do that, I just want to thank you guys for joining the live. I want to thank you in advance for making the video go viral. I want to thank you in advance for any ways you've blessed the channel through the Cash App. And I want you to put a button on this whole entire exchange that in order for the Negro to flourish, we must deaden identity and respectability pie tricks. And we must weaponize our vote and socialize our suffering. And we must remove our emotions out of the vote. And do as the Demonrats expect us to do. Vote against them. The way they had us niggardly voting against Trump. It wasn't a vote for Demonrats, it was a vote against Trump. A vote for any repugnant clan, especially those that are deportation, closed borders, and interested in the nuclear family. It is a vote against the likes of a Jasmine crash test dummy Crockett. It's a vote against her. And Sheldon has a beautiful platform. It just happens to all align for me. Okay? So that's the beauty of Sheldon. His platform aligns with my views on how the country should be run. But it's not always going to be that way. But just remember, you are voting against the Demonrats for their intentional neglect. Their intentional neglect of the Negro for the last 70 years, which has rendered us bottom caste. Their war on drugs and their war on poverty and their gentrification and their replacement and erasure plans of us with immigrants, legal and illegal, before making the Negro whole. They declared war first, and we're going to finish it. Thank you in advance. Let's get to the declare and decree, and then I'll pray us out. I declare and decree that the highest form of righteous judgment is served over all corrupt beings of the government, judicial system, including the police officers, CPS Child Protective Services, these diabolical schools that are run by immigrants, judges, attorneys, FBI agents, the CIA, and all personnel working for the U.S. corporation with 3 Ks with wicked intentions. All hidden corruption and agendas are now destroyed forevermore in spirit and in flesh, in sleep and in awakened states across all timelines, realms, and dimensions, known and unknown. And so it is, family. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever Negro, freedmen, descendants of the emancipated, and our allies are, God truly is, because, family, you are the face of God. Yes, you are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. And until next Saturday, family, when we meet again, I want you to make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your Sunday evening or morning, depending on where you are. And also, I want you to make it a God-inspired work week as well. And I'm believing for each and every one of us a ton of peace, love, and reparations